Hello, my beautiful gemstones. Welcome to Friday night's live intuitive oracle with myself and Ghostdragonzw. So good to see you all. I took this whole week off. Basically, I worked a little bit on my book and a script for the Solder Children for not this coming Monday, the 8th, but the Monday after. But other than that, I haven't done anything. It's felt marvelous, but let me tell you, I am so ready to get back to work. So it's so good to be here with you all tonight. Mama Cindy Lee, welcome. Miss Lotus Girl, Aunt Edna, Ryan Tremblay, the Bat Mom at the planetarium. Ooh, that sounds fun. Darling Deb, Miss Pixie, Area 51, Sir Raymond. So good to see you all. Thank you all for coming and hanging out with us. Mark Halstead. So many of you have been texting me today about the earthquake we had in New Jersey. I know it was like all across from like Maryland to Maine, it said. It was pretty, I'll just quickly, like I slept late today. I was lucky enough that I was able to do that. And my little guy likes to stay upstairs, so he'll go in his room, which is attached to my room, and play his game, or he'll sit at the bottom of the bed and watch TV quietly while mom rests. And it's not often we get to do that, but since he's off, I took a rest day. And right when I was sitting up and like kind of coming to my senses, all of a sudden, like the house just started shaking. Things were flying out of my closet, and RJ was pretty scared. I grew up thinking we don't have earthquakes in New Jersey, that it's just not a phenomenon that happens where we live. I know that may sound really stupid, but I don't know much about geography, and I just know earthquake, California. Like that is where my mind goes, to the West Coast every time. But it lasted a good like 48 seconds. And my husband thought it was funny because he was outside and he couldn't feel it like we could in the house, but we came down and we're like, what was that? And he was laughing. He's like, that was actually an earthquake. So there are people that are saying we had a huge earthquake in 89, which I was 6 years old, a huge earthquake in 93, which I was 10, but I don't remember them at all. I don't remember having earthquakes. And I also read that from 2018 till now, we've had a lot of earthquakes here in this area, but they didn't really register. I never registered them, right? They were like 2.1s and below. So in my head, there's never been an earthquake here. This one was a 4.8. It was pretty scary. And then right when I was sitting down and opening up all the decks, the aftershock came in. I tried to record a shorts of it, but it just looks like me being terrified of nothing because you can't hear it through the screen. Maybe you can if you're wearing headphones, and you also can't obviously see anything because it was just aftershocks. Things weren't falling. So it was really a crazy day. It was really scary. I think it would have been less scary if, again, I was aware that we could have earthquakes here. So, yeah, pretty scary, but we move on. Munchy Chipmunk here this time. Could you hear it? I listened back and I really couldn't hear it. I was just scared, and I'm here alone now, so I needed someone to like experience the trauma with me. So that's what I have you guys for. What's up, Mandy girl? Doing all right, doing all right. Hurricanes, tornadoes. Yeah, like we don't have that type of stuff. We get like tornado warnings sometimes, but thank God, like I've never seen a tornado. I don't worry about natural disasters in New Jersey, but today was really, really scary for me. And the trauma is real with my little guy. He's like afraid to go to the bathroom now by himself. Tim Mothman. Hello, and welcome. Thank you for stopping in. 4.01. Yeah, so it was bad. Okay, so I knew because I'm like, I called Ray and I'm like, is that another one? And he's like, I think that was the aftershock. But it was scary. I'm just sitting right here like this, and I'm just like, not again. Like, no. But so many of you messaged me to make sure I was okay and to give me tips in case it happened again. Love hurricanes, hurricane parties down south. I think that would be okay. Like we have hurricanes. I don't live by the beach, but we have hurricanes and they get pretty bad, but they don't like bother me. My house is, pretty sturdy. I'm not really worried about it blowing away. But you know, we do have a lot of trees around here. I thought they were dynamiting in the quarry back near my house. I thought maybe they had gotten too close to the house or something, but it was definitely an earthquake. All but earthquakes, but I wouldn't be surprised if we started getting them. Listen, if we can have them here, you can have them anywhere, for real. Kirby's 100. Yeah, and no big deal for you. I messaged my mentor and I'm like, survived my first earthquake today. He's like, welcome to every single day in California. Yeah, it's all natural. It's Mother Nature doing her work. It just caught me off guard. I'm glad my little guy was here with me and not in school, though. So I'm going to bring the ghost dragon in, let him say his hellos, and we're going to get started. I'm really excited. Again, have not done any work except a little bit of writing since last Friday's stream, and any actual work during the day since last Thursday. So I am pumped. I'm amped. I'm super excited to be here. I didn't even have nails on this entire week since Sunday. So by the way, I hope you all had a great Easter. If you celebrate, mine was good. I got to spend it with my mom and my family. I got to go to church and do that. It was great.
Hello,
Hi,
everybody. How are you? Hello, folks. And my relative there somewhere in there, Mandy. Hello. Hello, 51. Everybody, hello. I'll say most of my hellos as we call names.
I do have the window open, so whatever's out there, I don't know what it is this time of year, is making me a little stuffy. So I apologize in advance for the nose blowing. Anthony of Unidentified S4 did 2 short lives on the quakes, and he was also pretty shook, pun intended. Yeah, I mean, it's so unusual for us. Long Island Bigfoot reached out and he's like, hey, are you good? He's like, what? We're like, what was that? Because he is not very far from me. I think he's like 45 minutes tops from me. Mark, I really did. And it's crazy because for as much as I needed vacation, there's this other part of me that is like, I need to work like right now. Like I need to get to work. So that's why I did a lot, as much as I could, for the book. My mom came and visited for 2 days and hung out with the little guy. We had her playing Fortnite. It was great. Smoochy girl, welcome. So let's just get started. Who said, oh, Blue Crossroads is having like a rough time right now. He didn't get a lot of sleep and he worked today. So I'm going to timestamp him if he doesn't come in. Yes, Edna, I'm about 30 to 45 minutes away from the center of it. That's why it was so intense. It's funny because I looked up and all I saw were like wigs coming flying out of my closet where I have them like hanging. Yeah, we did. We had a good time all week. My little guy, it was just nice for him, like still getting up at the exact same time or earlier that he complains about getting up for school, but that's because he knows, he can play his game. Yeah, very close. I called my dad. His phone was off in the morning, and then I called him again about an hour ago, and he was just oblivious. I'm like, you good? He's like, yeah, I'm good. Why wouldn't I be good? And I'm like, the earthquake we had this morning? He's like, I knew it. He's like, I knew it. He's like, my girlfriend was trying to tell me that it was just a big truck that passed by. I'm like, no. I'm like, it was an earthquake. And I looked it up and it said, we have it. I don't know how true this is. I looked it up from like 2 sources and it said that we have not had in New Jersey, in this area specifically, an earthquake of, that magnitude since like the 1790s. That's crazy. All right, let's get started. Who's first?
First is Cindy Lee. Hello, Cindy Lee. How are you doing, dear?
It's funny too, a 3.5 Smoochie, because where the center of it was, I lived in New Jersey my whole 41 years, except for a couple years in PA as an adult. And I've never heard of that place. I'm like, where is that? Like, I never even heard of where that town is, but I did look it up. Yeah, and I believe that that's what it is. That's why I'm kind of not really surprised. Because can we blame the environment, right? I didn't feel that, but we don't feel 4s here either. Area 51, where are you again? So, Mama Cindy, I am using the Vintage Wisdom Oracle. Gratitude. Seattle. Okay, that makes sense. Big hurricane this season. It has been raining nonstop in New Jersey, like for the last year. Just nonstop rain. It's just getting ridiculous now. Cindy, this image portrays a winged deva poised behind a pink rose. Making sure there's no nudity. A golden crown hovers above her head. In the language of flowers, pink roses are symbolic of joy and gratitude, a virtue that belongs in the realm of sacred emotion and sovereign status. It has been clinically proven that a thankful life is generally a happier life, and it's easy to forget we often receive a great deal more than we give. The gratitude card invites you to unearth the bounty of your daily life by remembering the many reasons to be grateful. It may be a favorable time to express thanks to a deserving soul who has helped you in some way, or simply as a signal to count your blessings. The continued practice of this alchemical virtue can animate forgiveness, heal the past, and bring about a daily sense of wonderment and peace. From a cosmic perspective, to become unconditionally grateful for the adventure of life with all its ups and downs and regardless of outcomes is to merge with the kingdom of God. Whether or not you believe in God, it's kind of like to merge with the collective, right? Area 51, yes, waiting for the big one with a drink. Miss Pixie says, I will not be streaming next week. I leave Wednesday to go to a paranormal investigating weekend in Minnesota with Dave Schrader and Sarah Lemos. I will be gone for a week. Go and have fun, take lots of pictures, and take videos, and give Dave a squeeze for me, if you will. He messaged me today, joking around with me. He's like, look, you have fans. And someone was like, Gemma's hot in the comments. And I'm like, can it ever be anything else? And he's like, he said something really sweet. He said, your looks might draw an audience in. He said, but you speak very, very well. He said, and who you are as a person is what's going to keep them there, and made me feel a lot better. Smoochie, I remember discussing that in your reading a couple weeks ago. Okay, let me get Miss Cindy's reading here. So Mama Cindy Lee, what this card is saying, like, obviously we know to be grateful, right? We thank whoever it is we thank for the things that we have and the gifts in our lives. But I feel like what this card is saying to you specifically is that you have to kind of train yourself, especially nowadays. And this is a lesson I'm also currently learning and have been for years, right? To be thankful for the things that you don't have and be thankful for the things that were also taken away, right? Be thankful for the hard lessons we're learning. If we're going through something that is, to us so traumatic and terrible and tragic, and to stop and think, this is why journaling is so important. Like, yeah, this is horrific. I wish I didn't have to go through this, but I know that the lesson I'm learning from this is going to so much further align me with my purpose, right? Understanding that these hardships, these trials, tribulations, all the pain and suffering that we have to deal with, having this human experience, is always for a better reason. It's always to bring something better in. I've gotten to the point where I like scream and I'm like, I've learned the effing lessons. I get it. Can I please just move forward with this situation or with whatever it is? It's happened with several different things in my life lately, but I'm not the boss. I don't decide. It's my humanness, my ego that wants to be like, all right, enough. Like, I get it. There's something I'm still not getting. It could be that the universe just hasn't made the room yet, or I haven't opened up enough to make the room yet. So Mama Cindy, in the next week or two, if you don't journal, consider starting. If that's not something you think you can do, that's fine, of course. But try to look at all of the negativity in your life right now and see specifically what you've learned from it. I know it doesn't seem like a big message, but let me tell you, once you can do that, you start to understand the massiveness, I make up words, of the blessing that's coming in because of the massiveness of the experiences that have brought you so down and broke your heart, right? There's always something bigger and better and more wondrous coming in, but we don't live or think on an eternal timeline like the universe, God, our higher power, whatever does. Tim Mothman is new. I know you probably know to like squeeze him in, but just want to mention it. Tim Mothman, if you'd like a reading, if you're still here, we can put you in a little bit ahead of whoever. And if Bat Mom is still listening and we have time at the end, because I already have 2 timestamps, we can mark her for a timestamp. She's in here every week. She never asks. So Danny, what's up?
I got you. I'm freezing. I notice I'm kind of getting frozen there. For some reason, my Wi-Fi is a little wonky.
Oh, I thought you meant cold. I'm like, you're that cold.
Well,
You're wearing a suit and tie.
I do have the willies, but I know why I have the willies.
Thanks,
yeah, I saw him come in. I got him written down as new. Let's do Lotus, and then we'll do him.
Sounds good.
Because I know Lotus was tired and has a lot going on. So
yeah. If I can post your live in girl, please go ahead. Yes, absolutely. Yes, guys, you have my permission to share my content, to repost my content, as long as you're not doing it for like a negative way. I don't care if you like make money off. I don't care. Like if you're posting it for the betterment or like for something positive or just to get it out there, this is me giving y'all permission.
$5 a post.
Well, yeah, obviously you got to pay me. No, I'm just kidding.
Just
Could
kidding.
you imagine?
I'm
well,
joking.
I mean, yeah, that is how a lot of YouTubers do it. But I can see that, like, if they're making 4,000 and they're getting copyright claim, like, I can see that. But I'm not quite there. So yes, please, you'd be doing me a favor. Actually, I appreciate you asking, though. Thank you. Ryan, are you coming to hang out with us on Tuesday again? If you're available, that would be pretty awesome. I actually finally saved your phone number in my phone, so I will text you about it when I'm back to work on Monday, if that's cool with you. I want to do a girl talk show with Miss Lotus Girl, Miss Arisha, Miss Deb, Miss Pixie, maybe separately, have a bunch of the ladies on separately with me interviewing them. I would love to do that. So I'm working on that. I still have to send Arisha the camera that I promised her. Yeah, that would be great, because I feel like one like 50-minute show was just not enough. Like, we need more. I learned so much from you, and my mom was here for 2 days this week to hang out, and kind of like, now that she moved, she's closer, she wants to be here. And she was talking about you. She was like, but that guy you had on, like, he was so nice, but like, he was like out there, like, she was so impressed by you. And it's hard to impress my mom. She's nice to everybody, she loves everybody, but like, to like, for her to say like, I was so impressed with like his knowledge and his information, it was cool to hear that. So yeah, and that too. Yeah, Miss Pixie,
I'm sorry.
go ahead. That's okay.
I even have it written down where we left off, so we could literally pick up where we left off.
Miss Pixie, yeah, I think that I'm gonna set something like that up come spring, maybe starting in May. Just have a girls' night where I bring on a different female guest every week, and we just chit chat. You know, just about anything. We'll start it off with paranormal spirituality, and we'll just let the chat move the conversation. I think that would be cool. I will. He's blushing. Yeah, she did. She actually brought it up out of the clear blue sky. That she was so glad she caught that episode, because she was really impressed by you and your like fervor, your like thirst for the knowledge of it and like to get the facts. And she knows I'm a lot like that too. I don't have like the resources to travel or to like go and investigate right now, but I would definitely if I could. It's just like that hunger for what we're doing. And I think that's why a lot of people really appreciated you being on there and just being like authentic and cool and chill. And it was really cool. Girls Roundtable, that too. Yeah. So I'll start planning it this week. And what I'll do is I'll put out community posts. I'll mention it in streams. Any ladies that want to come on, y'all can email me or text me and we can set it up. We'll do like we'll do one a week. And the first 3 weeks of the month, I'll do like, I'll interview, or not really interview, just talk with a female, have a female on. And then the 4th week of that month, I'll have all 3. And it'll be like the 4 of us. I think it's something like that. That's along the lines of what I'm thinking.
I'll
we'll
just
see how that
leave,
works.
and I get a day off.
You can bring guys on if you want. You have the keys to my channel.
Just
All right, Miss Lotus Girl, I use the fairy tale oracle because you do have a lot going on, and I feel like you just need all the help you can get right now from the universe, like we all can. So I pulled the Little Mermaid. Mandy, I do plan on traveling eventually, once I get to a point in my career where I can do that. That is one of my biggest like things I want to do, goals. Girls Roundtable means go away, fellas. We might be scarred by interrupting the ladies. Yeah, I don't mean it to be like a makeup and girl talk type thing, but I just feel like the ladies aren't represented. There are a lot of wonderful women on YouTube. I'm not saying that, but in my personal experience, I've seen breasts, drug use. We're not really being represented in the best way, in my opinion. So I feel like, you know, we can do better. Okay, Miss Lotus Girl, I will prepare a potion for you, with which you must swim to land tomorrow before sunrise and sit down on the shore and drink it. Your tail will then disappear and shrink up into what mankind calls legs, and you will feel great pain as if a sword were passing through you. You will still have the same floating gracefulness of movement, but at every step you take, it will feel as if you are treading upon sharp knives and that the blood must flow. If you will bear all this, I will help you. When this card comes to you, Tennille, there is every chance you are considering making an enormous sacrifice. Firstly, you're restricting your true voice and have given up speaking from the heart about what you truly feel in order to seem more acceptable to another or to avoid some sort of conflict. Secondly, you have given up the depth of your emotions and you are trying to do your best to fit into an environment that is enormously uncomfortable for you. It is almost painful, and you are certainly feeling heavy, ill at ease, and awkward. This card asks you to consider just why you're sacrificing so much of your true self for this chance at belonging or this chance at love, whatever it may be. This card can also come forth to speak with you when you are considering making changes to your face or body via surgery in order to be more appealing to a love or a potential love. I think regardless of the reasons, there is so much work for you to do on self-acceptance, and to understand that the path you are currently taking that involves so much self-sacrifice and pain will not lead to a happy ending, but to pain, suffering, and the extinguishing of your spirit. Please consider the changes you're making and why you're making them, rather than falling deeply into a kind of trance of desire. No one has asked you to make these changes. It's your own choice and your own doing, and if you're to make them, they must be for your good, not because you wish to win another. Denying your heritage, your own personal talents and skills, and your beautiful abilities will not make you more lovable. It will lead to pain and ultimately perhaps to some pity, but it cannot win you love. Please reconsider now this road of sacrifice and understanding that you can become a truly wonderful being by most being your own true self. There is magic, unnatural magic, which may bring to you what you wish for, but it will come at far too great a cost to even consider it. Please heed the Little Mermaid's message and don't go further into this, but return to your true self and become who you are for your own self and for your own sake. I don't believe this is about love, right? Like, we know what this is about. So there's so much here. This is a lot to do with too, and I don't even know if we covered this in your personal, but it's like not speaking up. And I think we did talk about this either in stream or with your personals. Tennille, like, you've kind of given the reins over to someone else in a certain situation and you ended up in a pile of poop because of it. Now it's like, well, why should I have to deal with this when I'm not the one who caused it? In actuality, though, you never should have handed the reins over. And it was a lesson that you definitely needed to learn. But I feel like the main thing for you to understand here is you are the only one who's going to be able to fix any of this, unfortunately. But that doesn't let the other person who caused the mess off the hook either. Okay, I feel like you've already forgiven this person. They did something stupid. They made a stupid mistake. And now you're dealing with all these consequences. But they have to acknowledge that they did it. I don't know what this means. But if it resonates with you, let me know because it's interesting. You have to start using your voice again. Stop being so afraid of offending someone or of, not saying the quote unquote right thing at the right time. The fact of the matter is you are spiritually connected. You're getting downloads. So why are you getting the downloads just to dull them down and edit them because it doesn't sound right or it may not sound right to humans? That's not the purpose of downloads. And I think you know that deep down inside. And I feel like that's where a lot of your frustration is coming from. This also says to avoid bargains that ask for more than they give over the long term. Okay, so something being settled, maybe I keep hearing settle, but that could be like a refusal to settle, right? This is like, you might, in the next week or two, or like in the next month or so, you might come up with, or somebody might come to you with like this cure-all solution. And you may be tempted either by being pressed by another person or by other people, or just in yourself to just like, okay, yes, whatever you need, just like, please make this stop. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Stand your ground, because the longer you stay in this, the more lessons you will learn and you will come out the other end. How many times in our lives do we feel like this is the end all and be all, we cannot possibly take anymore, and we survive it? And it ends up somehow in the grand scheme of things and or in the long run becoming the very thing that made us as successful or as beloved or as you pick the adjective as we are, right? A short-term deal to solve a seeming problem is not the answer. So we just discussed that. Beware of relationships which demand great sacrifice of your true self. I think we both know who this person is, where it's like, you cannot be yourself around this person. You've tried. You've been the good guy. You've been the bad guy. You've overgiven. You've taken away. And like, no matter what, this person does not accept you for who you are. It's because they're a bad person, not because you're bad at whatever. You need to dump this person off. I feel like you may have already. Watch for them to come weaseling their way back in. Love unrequited is best farewelled. Love who you are and your unique self, right? Now, if you're thinking of doing something like you have extreme migraines and physically you can't take it anymore, so you want to get like Botox or something, that's fine. If it's anything cosmetic, I'm not saying don't do it, but the universe is telling you just wait a little bit. Especially, girl, you should know better. Wait until we get out of Mercury retrograde. I don't know if you are planning on doing anything like this. And if you were, I wouldn't say it publicly anyway. But wait until we're out of the retrograde. I would say second week of May, because then we're out of the shadow phase 2 and the astrological stuff. I want to say conjunction with Saturn, but I may be saying that wrong because I'm not an astrologist. Wait until that's over. Second, third week of May, then you can move forward and you'll be able to make better decisions and choices. Sir Nutslap! Who's next?
Edna, sorry, my thing wouldn't move out.
Right. Yeah, Edna, I'm going to use angels and ancestors.
I'll tell you what, if I come to Arizona, I'm bringing Gemma with me.
He did drive straight through from Ohio to New Jersey just to bring me to a 1-hour doctor appointment 3 times. So, if you invite him, he's coming, which is great,
And you're coming with me. Little man can come too. We can send him off to chase rocks.
Someday. Oh. Water Guardian, connect with your emotions. So Aunt Anna, I know you are a Leo, which is so crazy. Like, I have so many friends here, so many great females that I love so much and I feel so close to. But it seems like out of, I'd say, the 8 females that I've connected with, like bonded with on a soul level from this stream, 5 or 6 of y'all are Leo sons. For doing these podcasts during the week and weekend, it's great to see your work and the great people that joined in the live chat. Awesome work. Appreciate it. Well, I do appreciate that. I appreciate you guys coming in, because otherwise we'd just be live streaming to nobody. And if you ever wanted to come on, I'm sure Ghost Dragons would love a guest. I always extend that invitation to you guys. If you have your own stories, if you have your own topics, and you want to come on, feel free to just ask, oh, thank you. Using you as bait. Gemma can be my alibi. Oh, thank you, Sir Lester. I appreciate that. Thank you, Miss Munchie. Okay, so the reason I brought up you being a Leo sun is because you are dealing with some Pisces, Cancer, and or Scorpio energy. I usually feel the Cancer more on the Water Guardian card. Connect with your emotions. You guys are so sweet. Thank you. I've spent the entire week in pajamas, no nails, no wigs, no makeup. So I kind of did it up a little tonight. Cancer moon. That's like Deb. She's Leo sun, Pisces moon. And that makes so much sense why I connect with you guys. I don't know about the twins. I don't remember. I do have it in my, stuff, but I don't know what off the top of my head what their moons are. But okay, so this is you connecting like the moon. Okay, so your sun sign is like your ego. It's the face you put forward, right? On purpose. It's like how you present yourself. The rising sign is everyone else's first impression of you. The moon sign, a lot of people will say to me, like, I feel as though your readings, I connect more with my moon sign. And I'm like, that makes sense, because your personality is a lot more like your moon sign in a lot of ways, because especially when it comes to your emotions, how you deal with emotion, how you deal with other people, and how you deal with the maternal figures in your life, the feminine energy. That makes a lot of sense that you're a Cancer moon, actually. And this saying connect with your emotions, the moon is about the emotions, right? Okay. Take time to understand how you really feel. Know that your sensitivity is not a curse, but a gift that allows you to receive and understand messages directly from your soul. Water is the element that's in your blood, your tears, and your flesh. The water guardian represents the angels of water, who can help you dive within to understand the depth of your emotions. These angels are all about helping you see that your emotions aren't just the feelings that are on the surface. They're also the old emotions you may have locked deep within the shadows of your soul. Through helping you acknowledge your deepest emotions, the angels of water help you to hear the messages these have for you and to unlock your intuitive powers and the energies of abundance. Your angels want you to know that it's okay to feel these emotions that are surfacing in you at this time. It doesn't matter if they are joyous or sad. They're all powerful messengers that allow you to understand what you want and what you need. Taking time to breathe and acknowledge them lets them flow through you rather than crashing down on you as an overwhelming wave. Note that there are also intuitive psychic messages arriving in you at this time, and unless you acknowledge everything as it comes up, you may miss important guidance that can lead you to support and to love. Yes, definitely a beautiful card. What's up, Heather girl? So what this card is saying is, having a Pisces moon would be frustrating to anyone. I don't know how y'all do it. Like, being a Pisces sun is hard enough. Pisces moon is like the literal most sensitive, overly emotional being on the planet. Like, I don't know how you guys do it. Blue Heron. Remember our friend Blue Heron? She was a Pisces moon, Leo sun. So, okay. This is you. I feel like you're looking at certain emotions that are coming up within you, or like certain thoughts, like ways that you're behaving lately, or that thoughts that are triggering you as like weakness, like wanting to forgive someone who's hurt you a dozen times. Now, normally we would say, maybe we want to get away from that person, but for whatever reason, you're being urged forward in this relationship. Just as an example, if you don't accept that, and you allow that Leo energy to overtake that, like, nah, that's BS, no more. They're not going to make a fool out of me again. Like, you're overriding the universal messages coming in, the downloads from your spirit team. There is a reason why they're pushing you towards saying this, doing this, getting involved with this. Do you know what I'm saying? I feel like in the next week or two, especially with everything going on astrologically, and you have to be really, really careful of suppressing something because you feel like it doesn't belong. You know what I'm saying? Like, kind of like not wanting to express that you're upset over the ending of a friendship because the friend turned out to be a full-blown narc and has like destroyed your life, as an example. But if the universe is telling you to behave a certain way, if you get the thought in your head to say something or to look at something differently, do not allow your ego to override it. Okay? Sit with it. Be very aware of your emotional vibration. We should all be trying to do this daily. Again, this is where journaling will come in. But it's definitely going to be a big thing for you. I feel like you're going to have this aha moment, this emotional breakthrough moment where you finally understand the reasons for your pain and suffering in a specific area, because you're willing to open yourself up to whatever comes through. It's like screening your phone calls. Okay? In the next 2 weeks, don't screen any emotions or thoughts. Let them come in, sit with them, process them, and act on them, use them, whatever the case may be. No screening downloads. Just take all the information as it is, sort through it in your own way, and move forward. Do not suppress it, pretend like it's not happening, or let your ego override any of it. Who's next?
Sorry. We're going to go ahead and do the night. Sorry about that. We're going to do the new person, Tim Mothman.
All right, cool. Tim
And
Mothman.
The other new person, Lester Taylor. If you want a card, you need to let me know, okay?
Okay, Lester Taylor, if you'd like a card, let the Ghost Dragons know, please, sir. Tim Mothman, I am using the Deep, Dark, and Dangerous deck for you. I don't like my moon then. I have to check out your chart. I had to show my dark side to finally get things done. They're finally listening to me. Then maybe that's it. Maybe it's not all just loving. I'm coming from like a positive heart space, but it could be just positive things that you need to do, that you need to put into action, and stop suppressing. The total opposite. Stop suppressing your right to be righteously angry, or, to cut people off, or we don't owe people explanation or closures, guys. We can give it, but if it's toxic, why are we bothering? It's just messing up our energy. Tim Mothman, you got card number 32, Dangerous. It's the card of synergy. It is the Chimera. And girl, yes. And I think that's what it is. You went through this period of feeling because you were physically ill that you were somehow weak. And I'm so glad you pulled out of that. And I feel like that's a lot of what the card is saying. Like, stop scanning your emotion to try to find the right one that you think should fit. Just feel how you feel. All right, Tim Mothman. The whole is more powerful than the parts alone. Experiment. There is power in new designs and ways. There may be people around you sowing discord. You know many things and have your own wisdom. Put all this together to form something powerful. You have unique experiences and talents that can only be utilized by you. Homer gives a description of the Chimera in the Iliad, saying that she was of divine stock, not of men. In the forepart a lion, in the hinder a serpent, and in the midst a goat, breathing forth in terrible wise the might of blazing fire. There were many other descriptions, but bottom line, the Chimera was a creature made up of seemingly disparate parts, yet the parts worked together to create a stunning creature. The Chimera may have been frightening, but it was beautiful and harmonious in form as well. While the Chimera sounds like something cobbled together like Frankenstein's monster, it wasn't. It was considered quite perfect in form and function. Ryan, you are so right, honey. You are so right. Edna, I give you a lot of credit. Where was I here? Sorry about that. It was considered quite perfect in form and function, and was something to be viewed with wonder. While the Chimera appears in Greek mythos and art, she also appears in 4 BC Etruscan art and on Indus seals of the same period. The Chimera was born from 2 incredible Titan monsters, the Echidna and Typhon. Echidna was a giant half-woman, half-snake, and Typhon was a deadly serpent-like Titan born from Gaia and Tartarus. Sadly, the Chimera was killed by yet another hero, Bellerophon. The king of Lycia, Iobates, had it out for Bellerophon and wanted him eliminated. He ordered the young man to find and kill the chimera, and it was killing the cattle of his farmers and devastating the country generally. The real reason was that he thought that the chimera would simply eat Bellerophon, and that would be that. However, the king neglected to remember that the hero owned the infamous Pegasus, the winged horse, and flying above the chimera, he was able to kill it from a safe height. So your plant companion is Eagle's chimera, a kind of camellia, and your crystal companion is amylite. I do not have any amylite handy to show you. I probably do and just don't know that's what it's called, which is what usually happens. So Tim Mothman, here's the thing. I feel as though this card is telling you that you might be in at least one certain area or in certain areas of your life trying to force something. Or it's a warning not to try to force something, right? So if I'm just going to use a love interest as an example. This doesn't mean that this is what's actually happening. It's just a silly example that comes to my head to better explain what I'm trying to say. Say you're somehow in love with two women. You love these three things about this woman and these three things about that woman. And each of the women doesn't have the other things, right? So you're like hoping and praying that you can find somebody with, or like you can be with both of them because you can't resist the three things here and the three things there. Instead of trying to cobble together this woman out of these two, why not get rid of both of them because they're not exactly what you want? Start over and wait. Patience, knowing the universe will and always does deliver for the right woman that has all six of those amazing qualities that you're looking for. This could have to do with anything. And if you don't know what I'm talking about in the next week or two, you will. Do not try to force anything to be right. If something feels off to you right away, it's off. There's something off about it. Listen to your intuition. And don't just listen to it, run with it. Like, it's okay to say, I've got a bad feeling about this. I'm not going to be involved. Or to tell someone like, I trust you, but this seems weird to me, so I'm going to pass, right? If somebody's offended by that, like a normal human being will understand most of the time. If someone's offended by it, they weren't meant to be in your life at this point in time anyway, so good riddance to bad rubbish. What I'm saying here, though, is like, don't force yourself to be comfortable in a situation. If you're not comfortable in it, get out of it. Don't force yourself to be comfortable in this position at work if you're just not comfortable. It's the changes you need to make based on recognizing your intuition. Okay. Don't force yourself to think that, your partner's not cheating when intuitively, even though you have no tangible evidence that they're not. Something here isn't right. So stop trying to force that it's right? It's wrong, it's a little off, it's just not working. So stop just going with the flow and going along with it when there's something so much better that is more for you, isn't off, and is perfect for you in the long run after you learn whatever this lesson is. But if you continue just going along to get along, never opening your mouth, never having an opinion, or never confronting anyone about the truths that that are bothering you or hurting you or whatever, you're never going to learn the lesson and you're never going to move forward. Who's next? Hello, Miss Divine Empathic.
Next is Ryan.
All right, Sir Ryan. I'm going to use the shadows and light, and then I'm going to use the potty after this read. Thank you, Area 51. Oh, I appreciate you too. Thank you so much. All right. There's the Bat Mom. What's up, girl? Okay, Ryan. So interesting. You got the Sea Beacon Fairy. Guidance. But where will it lead you? Card number 3. Darling Deb, that's actually that's a good idea. I used to recommend that to people, but then I felt like it sounded cocky, so I stopped. Because it's not me. I'm just channeling your team. I'm only the messenger. It's not my advice. Although I got to tell you, I would hardly ever disagree with it. So, all right, Ryan, sometimes when a clear path seems to be taking you in the right direction, it helps to know who's holding the light up. Because while this beautiful sea beacon fairy is most certainly guiding a lost ship, who knows whether she leads it toward rocks or toward safe harbor? And this is the choice you have to make now. Is this path that is clearly being lit the right one for you? Simply because there's light, is the source a true and good guide? Would you be best to await another way out of the storm, or are you so eager to avoid the storm and the challenges that will follow the first light that comes along? This is like a combination of everything I've said so far in this card so far. The sea beacon fairy speaks. I do hold up the light, but only you can choose as to whether the direction I will lead you in is the right one for you at this time. It may be your salvation I lead you to, and it may be that I'm gathering souls and you will perish upon rocks or drown in cold seas. I know this is hard to hear. It's not a sure thing, this advice and guidance you've received. And for all its insistence that it comes from the light, the advice may not be that which you need to follow at this time. I understand this may be confusing, but I'm assuring you mostly of one great truth, that perhaps you must find your own way out at this time. Divination message: a perfect solution to a problem has been presented to you, but whether it's wise to take it is another thing altogether. You may have more resources and opportunities than you're aware of, or than you are allowing yourself to believe in. Don't be too quick to follow the first opportunity that comes. Wait and check both your sources and your inner wisdom. There are many paths and many solutions. Not all advice will be right for you. Right off the bat, that definitely lands with me. Yeah, I mean, the one thing I'm hearing is like, don't take the easy road. It's easy to take the easy road, but we don't learn much when we do. And I feel like in your case, whatever this easy road is, it's like, it's the too good to be true thing. It's going to lead to a not so great place, or like to disaster in the long run, so to speak, you know. I feel like by really taking the time and doing things the hard way, or taking the long road, you are going to be so much more successful and so much more at peace. I feel like whatever this easy, quote unquote, easy option is, it comes with a price that you're only intuitively aware of. Like the person or the people that are offering you whatever this is, they're not mentioning now that eventually they're going to want XYZ. And I do feel like with the retrograde, the eclipse, all that, like, don't end up signing your soul away, so to speak. First of all, don't sign any major documents, contracts, anything like that. No major purchases in the next until like the second week of May. That's for everybody if you can help it. But I feel like all you have to do in this situation is ask a few questions, because then the people or the person are going to get like upset with you for questioning them, and you're going to be able to see right through them. If people can't make you feel comfortable in offers that they're presenting to you, there's a reason for that. Even if this person seems, you know, like they could be your best friend and they may very well have your best interests at heart, they could be the ones being duped, or they could be so desperate that you're now going to be collateral damage. I would say keep doing your own thing, and don't be afraid to ask questions. That is how the universe is going to help you weed in and out like what's for you and what isn't. And I do feel like something's taking either a little bit or a lot longer than you expected it to, and you could be feeling desperate or like very impatient for the end result. But the universe is saying, like, keep taking the leaps of faith. You're the fool on the journey, right? Runs into the devil, falls off the tower, you know, all of these crazy things happen. But what happens? He ends up with the world at the end because he took the leaps of faith. He took the chances. He continued on his journey, looking forward no matter what happened. That's you right now. So you can take the easy way, and it may feel like you did the right thing, and it may be beneficial in the beginning, but in the long run, you are going to suffer way more than you gained. I have to use the bathroom real quick. I will be right back.
Yes, that means I have to talk. Blah, 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 blah. I hope everybody's having a good week and they have a good weekend. That was a good reading, Ryan. And hello to all the people. Hello, Alan. Lester, I guess you don't want to read a card, so I'm just going to go ahead and hold off on you until you say something. After Ryan is Batmom, then Darling Deb. So everybody knows. And then we'll go from there. Write his name down. Sorry about that. Okay. So I do that. I see I talk real good today. Me talk good today. But yeah, I hope everybody's having a good one. It's a Friday night, so I hope everybody's chilling. Yeah, Ryan will be with us Tuesday, maybe possibly Wednesday with Vixen. We'll see if I'm still running around. But other than that, yeah, words are hard. Mandy, if you only knew what I go through, hon. Things have changed for me a lot. There's a lot of things you kids didn't know about me. Ghost, words are not hard today. They're hard, believe me. I've been fumbling all day. I haven't seen the new one yet. I have seen -1. I'm waiting to see the new one.
I have no room. I hate it.
So I can leave now. Have a good night, everybody. Take care.
What's up, Paradox?
She should even acknowledge it. I
said no.
No, next is Batmom.
All right, Miss Batmom.
And I'm going to write her timestamp down because she's driving.
Oh, Divine Empathic. She's actually rearranging the website. I don't know if she's going back to Facebook. I said it last time and I completely forgot, but I will contact her on Monday and I'll find out what's going on with that and I'll get back to you. That way we can get you your merch because I really do appreciate that. But I know she was having some issues. She had mentioned it, but I was taking off for the week, so I'm like, we'll deal with it next week. And she was like, that's good. I've got my own stuff going on. But I will talk to her. And in fact, I kept a pen here just in case anything comes up. Mandy, that is awesome. You're going to do great. You're very open. Just let me take this note, guys, so I don't forget. Because I have my note, like my blotter underneath my computer right now. Yeah, no problem. Thank you. Okay, I'm sorry. Batmom. Where is it? There it is. We're going to use energy and spirit. Wait a minute. Wait. Who's pink?
Godzilla. He's not really pink. He's kind of about pinkish purple, but he does have pink on him. A lot of people gave it crap, but hey, he's evolving. She laughed one time when I was over there. I put on a pair of socks, and I go, they said Mecha Godzilla on them, and I go, Mecha Godzilla. And all of a sudden, I hear Chuck and lean behind me like a kid.
Oh my gosh. Mandy, if you need any help or any advice, you can get my number from Grandpa.
Uncle.
You have so many girls. I can't say daughter or granddaughter. I don't remember.
No, I'm her
granddaughter.
Uncle. Yeah, she's my brother.
Oh, uncle.
Yeah, sorry. She's my brother.
Giles is like the only male I know, and I forget because I know you have 3 daughters, and then you have the granddaughters, and then I'm so sorry. But yes, you can get my number from your uncle, and I would gladly help you as long as you only text me because talking on the phone makes me vomit in my mouth. So my son said it's still pink. Okay, Batmom, you got the card of attachment, longing, and desperation in the uprights. Ouch. Card number 2. I get this card every time I use this deck, like personally for myself. So The woman on this card is caught in a web of longing and need. The threads that bind her are desperate needs for love, money, and or success. Her obsessive longing is keeping her stuck, unable to move in any desired direction. In fact, as she reaches up to grab a diamond in the web, she gets even more caught up. This card brings a warning, Batmom. Don't poison your present joy with the misery of desperation. There's not just one thing that can make you happy. I know sometimes it seems like that's the case, but I promise it's not. Surrender your chronic longing and choose to create feelings of happiness and self-acceptance now. This release of attachment allows you to calmly work on your intentions while living in appreciation of the life present. Perceive the value already in your life, and you'll attract increasingly happy experiences, including the ones you long for right now. Affirmations. I let go of desperation. I take action toward my goals while focusing on my present joys and blessings. I have a really hard time with this too. I've spoken to you guys. Oh, Mandy, yes, Miss Pixie's a really great resource if you can't get a hold of me, or like she's who I go to. So definitely a great resource. I do this. I've talked to you guys many times about this contract, like this income. I still have not been contracted, but I trust the person that's promising the contract to me that it will come through. But it's just like, okay, now I've been waiting since January. I've had no income, like donations are it. And what am I going to do? By only focusing on that, Batmom, I'm telling the universe that I'm in lack, right? And whatever you vibrate out comes back in. And I know that's so hard because it's like, how could I not worry, especially about something like being able to pay my bills? Here's the thing, you just have to let go. You know how like if you're super duper Christian or Catholic, it's like let go and let God. If you don't believe in God, it's like let go and let the universe. You have to prove that you have trust and faith that you will be provided for, whatever this is. Because remember, there's always going to be something else, right? So what's the next thing? Say it is finances for you. I'm not saying you're unemployed, but just say you are. You're unemployed and all you can focus on is like, how are you going to pay your mortgage, right? Once you get the job and you're able to easily pay the mortgage, there's going to be the next thing now that you're like, okay, I really need, you know what I mean? So there's always going to be something. So why not just sit in the present and be like, I'm learning lessons. It will come when it comes. And I'm telling you, for the longest time, I promised myself I wouldn't worry about money. And when I was in that frame of mind, in that abundance mindset, I never did have to worry about it. It's a really hard thing to do. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but if in the next week or two, you could at least try this, try to only focus on what you do have. And this isn't to say don't dream or don't strive for more, right? But you have to do it in a way where it's like, I am so grateful that I have this job. I cannot wait until I get promoted. Or I'm so grateful I have more time at home with my family, but I can't wait until I'm bringing in my own income again. Like you always have to what is the word I'm looking for? It's like you always have to preempt the negative with a positive to show the universe that you are learning, like you're waiting as patiently as you can as a spiritual being having a human experience, and that you're grateful for everything you are receiving. It is really hard, but if you can get yourself into this mind frame, you will be so much more abundant than you ever could have imagined, prayed for, hoped for, or begged for. Sit back, show gratitude, yes, Miss Lara, and just try to allow the universe to work in its way, not the way you want it. You may be looking at more income in the form of a promotion, but the universe is going to have you lose your job first and then be offered something better 8 months down the line. I said from the very beginning, I had to have lost this contract overnight randomly for something so much bigger to come in. It's been February, March, April, May, April. It's been like 3.5 months now. I've had a really hard time staying in that abundant mindset of like, okay, something much better is coming in. But when I can put myself there, I notice I feel better physically. I definitely feel better spiritually. I feel more connected, and I'm able to be more grateful about the other things that are around me. Like, okay, I get more time with my little guy now, and I get more time with my family now. You know, you have to like the reverse psychology, I guess, on the universe. Like, la, 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 I'm good with not having a job. Bam, you have this amazing job. It's so weird the way it works, but that's how it works. The next week or two, it's going to be really important for you to do this, more so than any other time so far this year. So really keep it in your head to just continue to focus on your blessings and on what you do have and what you are bringing in.
Look at her flushing that status mug.
It almost matches my outfit.
Next is Darling Deb.
Miss Batmom, you are so right. Batmom said you forget what you are blessed with until you lose it. Yes, Munchie Chipmunk, exactly. But like, it's so easy to say, but like putting it into action, into practice is really, really hard. But once we get used to doing that, it is pretty amazing watching the universe work its magic. Munchie Chipmunk said you can't worry about something that you can't control right now and cannot change the outcome of to try to put that energy towards something positive. It makes a lot of sense. That's exactly it. Ain't it that the truth? Ain't that the truth? Oh, guys, I want to show you real quick. I got this really beautiful rainbow selenite bracelet. At first, I thought it was cat's eye. I thought I got bamboozled, but it's actually, it is selenite. You're welcome, sweetie. I'm sorry, you did say who was next, but I didn't register. Darling Deb. Darling Deb, I'm going to use the Oracle of the Shapeshifter. Yes, the Bat Mom. I didn't know rainbow selenite was a thing. I ordered some rainbow selenite sticks. So if anyone ever orders a box again, I'll be throwing some of them in there. Or I'll just gift them like I normally do. Miss Deb, I don't use this one often. It's one of the first decks I ever got, and I love it. I just don't, I have so many that I seemingly gloss right over it a lot of the time. It's done by my favorite deck author, Lucy Cavendish. Yes, dyed but beautiful, pretty, yes. And the artwork is Jasmine Beckett Griffith, who's my favorite artist. Amy Brown is number 2 for me. Jasmine Beckett Griffith is number 1. I love the artwork, the big eyes, the exaggerated features. Be right back, maybe. No, you must come back. I knew this card was going to come up. I knew it was going to come up. The last time I used this deck was for Mark H. This card came up. Before that, I used this deck for my mom. This card came up. It's in the energy. It's in the air. Hedgehog Love. Positive, uplifting, new friends. Card number 10. Miss Deb, you have found a new family. A soul group of kin, friends with whom you can play, teach, laugh, and share. Groups like this hedgehog gathering are made up of individuals, but they can act as one when it comes to keeping their friends protected, safe, and feeling like they truly belong, sometimes for the first time in their lives. These hedgehogs will teach you their ways, and for a time you will be one of them. You are safe with these friends, and together you will laugh, play, and nourish each other with connection and kinship, that sense of being home and a feeling of belonging that you have not had for some time now. They don't ask you to be unlike your true self, just to respect their ways while you are among them. You are healing very deeply on levels that may never be fully apparent to you, but the protection you are or will soon be enjoying is allowing you to pull back your defensive armor, be totally vulnerable, and rediscover your dreams and abilities, some of which you had put away. Make sense? Hedgehog Love speaks. You are like us. You have been taken, adopted, marked, and accepted by creatures who are quote-unquote other, disproving your belief that you are an eternal outsider. You have found kin, and you now know you can always call on your brothers and sisters. People who are real, positive, upbeat, and determined wish to hang out with you now. Join them, and let's all experience a time of play, of protection, of being surrounded by loving beings. Like us, you may look different on the outside, and you may seem a bit prickly from time to time, but you just want to be safe and to be surrounded by people who accept you and bring out the best in you. You will bear physically, you will find a true home with us despite our many differences. You will bear physically and energetically a mark that will help your brothers and sisters recognize you, making it easy for them to make friends with you, include you in their activities, groups, and parties, and tell you are loved for being who you are. This card indicates your true family will be, for a time, a group of close-knit friends who look out for each other and have lots of fun times and adventures together. It's a bit of a closed group, not so welcoming to outsiders, but its members are very protective of you and of one another as well. You may feel like you have adopted a new family and as if you were once an outcast but have now come home. You may find great relief from loneliness and isolation, or you may discover new animal friends and pets, or groups that cares deeply about animals could be about to enter your life. While this group is very tight, your individuality is respected and encouraged. It's very supported. This could be a rich and exciting social time, and you'll find new friends while on new adventures. Your peace of mind is developing and growing, and the more gratitude you show the world of nature, the more this deep peace will grow and endure. Even when it comes time to move on, as it shall come soon, you will be able to shift into a new environment, fully protected and with a great deal of help. Your friends, old and new, are never far from you and will never abandon you, not now that you have shared so much together. The friendships you make at this time are very loyal and could last forever. Hedgehogs are adorable, yes. So, Deb, I mean, it's, a lot of the people I think in this chat and in the spiritual realm of things, you're opening to new abilities. I can't ever go back now, she says. Yes, and that's exactly it. This is these connections, and I've talked to you guys about this. I talked to KC about it briefly today, outside of stream, where we were all brought together for some reason. Why it was in the internet age and it wasn't like we're all living in some tiny town somewhere in the middle of the Great Depression, I don't know, but maybe we were. There are so many of us that are soul connected, that are spiritually bound to one another. And we never realized it, that there was acceptance somewhere, because here we are now. Deb, this is just telling you to you have so many people here. What's up, Julie girl? I know, me too. You have so many people, even just here in this stream, but I think in a spiritual community, either around you, online, it could be this stream, definitely involves me, where you can just be yourself. And as long as you're respectful to others, which you are, we will accept you. And we do accept you. You are a part of the we now, right? You're a part of this group. You no longer have to feel silly or strange or weird. Unfortunately, in this situation, it's the people in your personal life may start to think you a little crazy or, shady, whatever the case may be, but that's okay. It's kind of like they say, for instance, if you were a Christian, the more you go to church, the more you're able to adopt the Christian values because you're only hanging out with other Christians. It's like that pack mentality kind of, but in the best possible way, because we're all trying to open up to this higher power, to this source energy where we can just be the best versions of ourselves and help everyone else. So this is telling you, make sure you really lean on the resources, the people in this group or in any other group that's going to help you spiritually align and evolve, especially now that you've activated, right? Because now there's too much. There, like you said, there is no going back.
Okay. You ready?
Jules, just 1 second. Jules, just so you know, I have been researching for you, and I will get in touch with you Monday or Tuesday at the latest. I know you have an emergent situation happening. It's very hard for me, with my little guy, but once I'm back to work Monday, I will reach out to you, tell you what I came up with, and possibly some things going forward that we can do. And I have a reading for May that I'll be doing for you as well. So please don't think I'm ignoring you, or I am working on it. I'm very, very concerned. I just had to kind of jump into the rabbit hole of research here because it did concern me greatly. And I want to make sure that the advice I give you, the information I give you, is correct. And we can move on and go forward from there. But you're not alone. You're not by yourself. We've got this. Just be a little bit more patient. Who's next?
Miss Pixie.
She popped the Pringles. All right, Miss Pixie. Miss Pixie, I'm going to use the Fairy Tale Oracle for you as well. You're welcome, Miss Deb girl. That's not, you know, I don't like hearing that. And that's the problem I was just talking about, where we're not in some tiny town, you know, within walking distance from one another. It's just, but there's a reason for that, you know. Pizza Pringles are good. Pizza combos are really good too. The poisoned apple, the card of jealousy. Card number 6. Sorry, need my nicotine. All right, Miss Pixie, are you afraid of being poisoned? Said the old woman. Look, I'm cutting the apple in 2. You shall eat the red cheek, and I'll eat the white. But the apple had been made so cleverly that only the red cheek was poisoned. When someone intends to hurt us, Lara, they rarely take a route that is conspicuous and easy for us to see. They tend to plan and to plot and then to find a way that will reach us, that will get to us, so they use camouflage. So it is with the poisoned apple and the story of Snow White. The apple, a symbol of wisdom and knowledge, a symbol of feminine power and of magic due to its internal 5-pointed star, has been tainted and made to hold poison. So this tale holds an underlying message that something that should nourish us can destroy us. The old woman, who should be a source of wisdom, becomes a source of false wisdom. False wisdom is when those who are elders are sometimes embittered and when what they pass can be tainted. So when this card comes to you, question the reason for the bitter words and lessons. What seems to be a gift is actually designed to hurt. Within this tale, there is a moment where cunning and guise, ruse and artifice take advantage of the good-heartedness of the recipient. If you have received this card, you must know that there is someone who is not your friend, but who would have you think they are. They don't want you on your guard. They are working at finding the right way to approach you in order to harm you. Within the tale of Snow White, the evil queen or the mad mother wishes to devour the energy in the life of the young, beautiful daughter who may not be hers by blood. She has become so at one with going after what she wants that she has lost sight or feeling of those who are behind. She has lost sight of their humanity and their feelings, and she cares not as long as her needs are satisfied. But she knows how to feign love, she knows how to draw one close, and she knows how to shield herself from suspicion. When this card comes to you, ask what gift it is that disguises malintent. Ask what temptation has been offered that is a poison for the soul. Think again and again before you accept this poisoned apple. Lara, remember the wolf in sheep's clothing. Remember the arts that those who hunt can use, and refuse the apple. Find your own way to power, to knowledge, to love, and to wisdom. And if you have accepted the poisoned apple, fear not. You will recover, and the pain you journey through will grant you the gift of experience, true sight, and a clear view of your relationships. So meanings, okay? You are a target of jealousy. We know that from the bullying that you've been receiving. And it's something that you've dealt with, I think, very gracefully, very beautifully. Revenge is being sought. I'm not sure that it's vengeance that's being sought here. I feel like someone simply does not want you to succeed. Somebody sees you gaining followers. I do feel it has to do with this, the spiritual community. I feel like somebody sees you as like a threat to them. Here's what I would say. Okay. Oh my God, divine empathic. Yes, they're my favorite. So here's what I would say. If somebody in the next week or two, or I would say even, I would go so far to say, Lara, in the next month, that if they come to you with like an offer of something bigger, something better, something bolder, I'm not saying don't take it, but what is being said here is like, be very, very careful who you trust in this area, because there is someone who is setting you up for failure. And then when you fail, they're going to be like, oops, and you're not going to see them again. This person doesn't have your best interest at heart because they see you as a threat. A person is spiteful, but hiding it. It is a time for you to be skeptical of everybody right now. Examine the source of information and ideas. So don't jump right on something someone tells you. Normally, we can trust one another in this community. in this chat for sure. But others in the community, not so much. I've had it done to me. I brought on a subscriber to bring her into the community and let her meet people so she could maybe rise up and get her own show. And I ended up losing almost everything I had worked for a year and a half because she manipulated and schemed behind my back and basically took everything that I had worked for. I've also had someone who I thought was like a sister to me, who I was sharing personal information with about my job at the time, my writing job, who was saving all of the text messages I sent her to then anonymously send them to my boss to try and make it look like, you know, they were like 2 years old, to try and make it look like I was right then in that moment talking crap about him. It almost got me fired from that, which was all I had left. So it's like, no matter how badly you want to trust someone, if something feels even a little off, in the next month or so, try to just maybe remove yourself a little bit. If it feels a little off, this isn't to say that everyone is out to get you. There are going to be some good opportunities coming in, some honest people who really love you and want to see you do well. But make sure that even if your rational mind tells you it's not possible, if your intuition, your instinct is telling you maybe something's off, then maybe something's off, and just pass for the time being. Okay? I feel like if this person has gone through all this trouble to try to get you right where they want you, they're going to be agitated that you're waiting, and they might then show their true selves. Not a good sign, but I think like we've all seen this coming, and it's just because you're doing so well. You know, you're doing amazing. Oh yeah. Divine empathic for sure. You're doing amazing. You're gaining a respectful following. You have people that really respect your opinion and come to you for advice. Meanwhile, there's like this fraudulent person who feels like they should be in your spot, even though they didn't work for it. I feel fraud. I don't know how else to say it. There is fraud afoot, I guess. Like someone, for instance, who decided on the same night I do this stream, they were going to read Oracle as well. But they only read from the book. They had no intuitive hits. They weren't channeling, but they were charging. And to me, that was very fraudulent, because where did this person come from? You know, why couldn't they give excess information? It was just a bunch. Mike J, no thunder and lightning at all. Okay. I can't deal with any weather events. Like, no more, please. I can't do it. It reminds me of like Thor coming into the stream, like, behold, with the hammer.
Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Next is Area 51.
All right. If it's light, I guess.
And actually, folks, these are the munchies I'm hooked on now.
Now y'all got me hungry, and I don't have any snacks in here. I wanted to show you guys something real fast. So for the shorts, you know how I do weeklies on the shorts? I got this really cool deck. It is What's the Tea? So I'm going to be doing the last week of April with those this coming week, and probably May as well. Life with Bobby. Yeah, it's been a day. Very scary. I don't remember who I'm reading for again. I'm so sorry.
I don't know either. I gave up. You rubbed off on me too much. Area 51.
Yeah, I'm okay, mate. It was pretty sorry. It was pretty nerve-wracking and scary, but you know, it's Mother Nature, and I'm not really even that surprised. Area 51, let's use the Shaman's Dream.
I'm going to tell you right now, she was just scared. It was just me landing in the backyard. Hiding out in the forest, chasing away Glimmermen and Sasquatch.
Batmom, did I feel it? Are you kidding? I'm a half hour away from where it originated. It was the most terrifying event of my life. And then the aftershock that came right before stream was really bad too. what I read is that New Jersey has not had an earthquake higher than like a 2.5 since like the 1790s. Yeah, we don't get earthquakes. I actually thought we just don't get them. Like, I didn't think it was possible to get earthquakes here. I'd heard of some in New York, but like in New Jersey, I was like, we don't get them here. I've even told my son many times, like, you don't have to worry, buddy. We don't get earthquakes here. And then I'm laying in bed this morning, and all of a sudden, everything just like wigs and all my stuff is flying out of my bathroom cabinet, and everything's shaking, and I hear this loud rumbling, and I'm just like, my first thought was, surely this can't be an earthquake. But it was, and it was very, very crazy, very unexpected.
Yes, nut slap. It was a 4.8. And then you had
4.8,
4.2, and then you had a couple 2-point aftershocks. So you had a 4.8 first initial, then an aftershock of 4.1, I think, or something like that. Then another one that was a 2.4, and then they carried on after that.
When I just filmed the recent short that I did today, right before stream, that was the 4.2. I was just really scared. I didn't know what was happening. I'm like, not again. But between, I think he said like 2018 or 2017 and now, New Jersey's had quite a few earthquakes, but they were like 2s, 2.1. So I never even knew we had them. They didn't register to me, but this one was so bad. I thought that they were dynamiting the quarry back in the woods and they had gotten too close to the house, because again, my initial thought was, we don't have earthquakes. Didn't feel anything in Ohio. Yeah. All right, Area 51.
You were in Ohio, Divine. I'm in Ohio too, Divine. Yeah, we didn't feel nothing.
Okay, so Area 51, you got the Sky Dancers, the card of surrender, card number 48. Mike, you got way too close. That's why I said no more. Hey, what's up, Josephine? When a Sky Dancer appears, she's inviting you to welcome the deepest power of the feminine into your life. You have already overanalyzed your situation to the point of exhaustion. Now is the time to invite the sacred feminine, the wisdom within your heart, no matter your gender, because remember, Oracle and Tarot don't have gender, to guide you to success. If you have become earthbound, plotting and planning and praying for change, cease and desist. 1, break the habit of being yourself, of repeating the same behavior and hoping for a different outcome. Stop trying to figure it all out. Stop overthinking it. Just surrender it. This is kind of what I said to Batmom, but a little bit different. The Sky Dancers are heralding the arrival of a new relationship with yourself in your work or in your love life. Don't assume that this person or this opportunity will rescue you. The only way to liberation is to kiss the ground goodbye and take flight, to rise above the fray and the drama of the struggling, arguing mind. Dance in the sky and view the madness below. By simply witnessing the actors in the human comedy unfolding on the ground, you are transforming it. As you observe the drama, you unleash the power of the sacred feminine that allows for any resolution. 1, the Sky Dancers know the maps of heaven and the way to the holiest and most sacred spaces on earth. They come to help you with your current life and, even more important, to guide you to the realization of your own divinity. You're doing scream face. Raymond, you're next. So 1, yeah, I'm sure this has already resonated, but I feel like it's kind of what I said to Batmom, just a little bit different. It's like, you might already know who and or what this is. That you feel like, wow, finally getting my lucky break. Like, I'm finally, I'll use me as an example again, finally got my contract, like, yay. But the universe is saying not so fast. Like, look deeper into what's really going on here. And that's not to say it's a bad thing. It's just saying, like, connect with the emotion of the moment, with the energy of what's going on. Because if you jump on the first thing that seems great, there's not going to be room for the next thing that actually is the right thing. Does that make sense? It's like making hasty decisions, feeling like this one thing or this one person and only that one thing or that one person is what you need in order to, I don't know, be happy, move forward, whatever. This is the universe asking you to open yourself up to the idea that you are going to get exactly what you're looking for, this abundance, this blessing, this, big time, I almost said re-up, the glow up, boss up energy. but it is not necessarily going to come in the way you expect it to. So, for example, I'm waiting for this contract this whole time. It may not come in the form of a contract. My income may come in something way bigger, way better, way more long-term, and way more money. But I'm just sitting here so focused on this contract that I may be blocking these other amazing opportunities, like maybe my TV show or maybe whatever. That's what you're doing. You're so focused on how you desperately need or want whatever this is to play out because you feel like this is the way it should go. This is what you need. This is what you want. And the universe is like, not so fast. It is coming. You have to be more patient. Don't jump on the first opportunity there is. Give it some time. Be patient, be patient, be patient, and understand that everything you're waiting for, this abundance, is going to come to you, but it's not going to come at all how you expect it. Lord Gary, executive producer, what is up? I'm doing great. How are you? Thanks for coming in and welcome. Also, Area 51, if this card resonated with you in a different way than the message I just gave, that's okay. Take that message as well, okay? It's not only what your team is saying, it's how it resonates with you, how you feel about the reading. Oh, you're so welcome, guys. Come on. Raymond. I'm sorry, I have to blow my nose again. I'm getting stuffy. Guys, don't forget, PayPal and Cash App donations accepted as always, please. If you guys can, I get it. If you can't, no big deal. And don't forget my books available on Amazon. Just type in Gemma Jade books. Okay, so Raymond, I'm going to use the Vampire Oracle. Le Vampire. Anyone know when, I know the second half of the new season of AHS is coming out, but the new season of Interview with the Vampire, the show, like I've been waiting, I think 2 years now. They said October, then they were like, I know the writer strike had a lot to do with why it's not here yet, but I think it's coming.
Check. It may have been canceled.
No, it wasn't. I checked.
Oh, did you?
Very recently, like 3 weeks ago, I checked, but I don't remember what the date was. But what I want to do, Ghost Dragons, is me, you, and Damien to do a watch party. Because remember, you watched the first season, or some of it at least, with us at the house, at Mom's house.
Actually, I went back and finished it when I got home.
Yeah, so I think it'd be cool. I know Damien was, Damien really looked forward to that time he and I spent together, and I think it'd be a good way to spend that time with him. He loves the show. I gotta say though, after watching the show, that movie used to be the greatest thing on earth. I loved it. Ever since the show, the movie is like real cheesy to me now. I even sat with Damien and watched it. I'm like, you don't understand. It's like the best movie. And then once we watched it after watching the show, I was like, I'm embarrassed that I thought this movie was that good.
Still a good movie.
All right, Raymond. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's still a good movie.
It's a great movie, but like, it's very
when you changed, but they changed things up and made it more realistic. I am freezing big time. It did kind of change things, and it kind of gave you more of the story in the series.
Also, the series was closer to the book. Okay, Raymond, you got Immortal, The Consuming Family, Pressure of Peers. I love the show, not the movies. Yeah. Nutslap, I want to read my own books, but you have to sell a certain amount in order, I think, for that to happen. I don't know how that works. I was talking to my mentor about it. I want to read my own, but I don't know if I'm going to ever be able to do that.
They are on to read them because they'll make fun of me because I stutter.
They are on Audible right now, except for Campfire Stories. Guys, my new book, and Raymond, I'm looking for the card now. Don't worry. My new book, Gone, Mysterious Disappearances. It's coming along really nicely. I'm really excited. I'm hoping for a May 1st release on that one. All right, Raymond. The vampires speak. For many humans, we have noticed that their blood and adopted friendship families can exert a draining and consuming influence upon them. Whether it's that their affections are so strongly bound up within their families that there's no affection to give elsewhere or to others, or whether the family circle has closed so tight as to strangle a member, we know this thing we once had, and which many of you have, family, can from time to time strangle the development of the soul of that being. Raymond, if this card has come to you, we wish to show you a young vampiric maiden, one of our own, Lucrezia Borgia, whose famous family fed upon her youth and beauty to further their political ambitions. Her closeness with her brother, Cesar Borgia, in every way compromised the development of loyal affections elsewhere. The family of origin can be like this for many humans. They can demand such great loyalty that you become entrenched in the family network, never moving beyond the ties of blood. This can be a diminishment of your potential, and we wish for you to consider that some of your beliefs have not been formed through your own independent experiences, but have been fed to you almost as mother's milk, or the blood we vampires draw in from our prey. You are being eaten by the family, by its traditions, by its neediness, through the hopes and dreams of the head of the family, be they female or male. There's this expectation that you will give up any individual wishes and a belief that you ought indeed not have these in order to further any empire or dynasty. In some families, this figure may be a narcissistic parent or sibling who considers your existence as a source of energy to be used for their own satisfaction. Your own expression of self has never been a priority, and for you to find your own way will mean a struggle through the darkness of guilt and fear and punishment. But the tribe you were born into now wants more than it gives, and it's time for you to find aspects of who you could be if dreams were given space to grow within. It's time to move beyond their demands and needs, even if it's for a short time, to refresh the freedom you have as a human, rather than as a cluster of close-knit and similarly woven humans who share a surname or an interest. You're more than your family. The family is not all. Raymond, the group mind is a very powerful thing, but for now, you must reassert your own individuality in healthy ways. For now, you must seek a form of freedom that comes from separation, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, from your family, their needs, their demands, the ties you have created yourself for a time. Blessing. The love and closeness of this group has given you a great sense of who you are and what you are on earth to do, but we ask you now to shake up the situation, as it's now leading to a shadow of your soul development and a stunting of your human growth. You are beyond the definitions of the family or the peers of an adopted family. You are more than they say you are, more than they allow you to be, and more than you have permitted yourself to be while in their orbit. It's time to separate. Curse. If you don't undertake a voyage of discovery into your own self, you will become enmeshed in the webs of the family life in a limited definition of self. And recall, too, this can apply to friends who have strong beliefs about who you are, who you ought to be, and how you must do things. There's a great price to be paid for this approval. It's the consumption of the things within you that are budding and have yet to flower. If you wish to be yourself rather than simply a member of a group with a leader who is not you, it's time to explore the alternatives. Working with this card, remember you are your own person and you can create your own life. You are free and obligations now fall away. So, yeah.
Real quick, Mark, are you here or did you get booted out?
Raymond's, I feel like, Mark, let us know if you're here, honey. I feel like this isn't, yeah, it's a mouthful, but I don't know if this is talking about your blood relatives. It definitely could be. So it's going to resonate with you how it does. But there's definitely at least one person, more than likely more than one, who is becoming an energetic drain, right? They're very vampiric. They're very demanding. They're very forceful in their opinions and beliefs, which, like, that's fine if that's how they want to be. But here's the thing. Why should you have to stunt yourself? Why should you have to pretend to believe things you don't actually believe? Why should you have to not take opportunities because this person's going to be jealous that they didn't receive the opportunity first? Nomio, what's up, babe? Do you know what I'm saying? If you don't know what I'm talking about, you will, because I do feel like there's something in your life right now that you're very excited about and or very proud of. And when you bring it to the people who are supposed to support you most, you're not going to get the reaction or the response you're looking for, which is one of praise and like, congratulations, this is great. You're doing, like, you're not going to get that. I feel like you're going to be criticized, like openly criticized. And your initial like response to this may be very reactive in a way that's like not the best. You know, you may want to tell them where they can go put the sun. You know what I'm saying? But this is the universe testing you. Like, why do you need that outside validation? Like, why do you need their approval so bad anyway? Like, you know, you're doing the right thing. If you're happy with your life and you're content and confident in the decisions you've made and the things that you're doing, how you're learning and growing and being, the relationships in your life, etc., why are you so stuck on receiving this outside validation from these people or this person? They're not going to give it to you. I don't believe they've ever given you anything like support in this way, but it's like, you're like, oh man, I'm finally to a point where so-and-so is going to, you know, commend me. I do just been low vibed. I will become a phoenix. Yeah. It's like, stop seeking in general, whether this is blood related family or just, you know, a romantic partner, or I don't feel like it's normal, but like whatever, like whoever it is or whoever these people are, stop seeking outside validation from anyone. Validate yourself. And once you can learn how to do that, you will be so much more confident and you will be so much better able to make better decisions for yourself, because you're not constantly thinking, well, what's so-and-so going to think if I say this? What's so-and-so going to think if I do this? What is so-and-so going to think if I take this opportunity? You know what I'm saying? Then it's all about you. How am I going to feel? You know? Oh, Miss Casey. Yes. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. It always helps so much. Thank you. So Raymond, you're going to find your own way. I feel like you've already kind of had it with the situation. Either that, or when it does start happening, if it hasn't started already, you're going to understand what's going on. And it's like, okay, I get it. And you're going to easily be able to back away. You're vibrating very high right now. And I feel like there are just people who are not vibrating as high as you. And it doesn't mean you're better or worse than them. You're equal as a human, but you're spiritually more elevated. So they're not going to be able to understand where it is you're coming from. So why waste your time trying to make them when they're not even aware of their spiritual journey? Please don't let anyone hold you down or set you back. You've come a really long way. You've come very far. And I feel like all you need to do is just validate yourself. Sir Mark. Mark, I want to use the energy and spirit for you as well. I love that 70s show. And I know people are going to give me poop about this, but I also love that 90s show. I'm sorry. I love it. So happy you all are here. Sensitivity and strength in the shadow position. And that is card number 3, tapping the forces within. Mark, this card reversed reveals the strength that flourishes within you, yet sometimes remains untapped. Being sensitive does not mean you have to be passive. It's time to bring some active yang energy to your life and stand in your true power. Yang, I believe, is the masculine. If you have a difficult time expressing your needs, taking action, or making requests of the people around you, you must challenge your old fear-based habits. You have a deep inner strength that can help you do and say all that empowers you. Call upon your own higher self and your spirit friends for the courage to speak up, take control, and drive your own destiny forward. No matter how sensitive you are, you now have the power to realize the unlimited strength of your soul. Affirmation: I express my sensitivity and strength in equal measure. I always have the courage to take the most honoring approach. And I feel like, yeah, you're growing and you're learning and you're changing so quickly, right? You're vibrating so high. We talk about this privately. We don't talk much, but when we do, I can't say it enough how proud I am of you and how amazed I am by the spiritual transformation you've undergone in such a short period of time. Don't let it's these readings, like there's a theme to every two. It's like a set of readings. Don't let anyone rain on your parade. Don't let anyone make you feel any type of negative way about your success, about how far you've come, about the things maybe you're getting interested in. Because it does sound kind of out there to some people, like talking about Bigfoot or, UFOs. There's something called Christian ufology now. I didn't have a chance to look into it yet, but I'm going to. It sounds out there to some people, and that's okay. Those people are not your people. So I feel like in the next week or two, I don't feel like you're doing this on purpose, but try not to like talk about this with too many people, because it could come off as like you're trying to like convert someone or convince someone, even though that's not what you're doing. You're just talking about your own journey. It could be taken the wrong way, especially with the retrograde. So I would say in the next week or two, maybe even going forward into the next month, don't be afraid to talk about your journey, but make sure you keep it on the eye, because I do feel like there are just some grumpy Gusses around you that are like, they can't be happy for another human being for like thriving. And it could bring your energy level down, right? It could bring you down a few notches, literally, as far as how high you're vibrating. And you're on the cusp of something so amazing and spectacular that why would you let someone do that? It's not their time. If you're moved to try to talk to someone about this and bring them into it, that's different. But if it's not coming directly from source or from like a download, just move on from people. I wouldn't even have like random, I don't know where you are that you have like these meanies around you. I mean, that's all I'm seeing is like people like like in your face. A lot of it has to do with just like ignorance, like the lack of understanding what you're doing, what you're working on, and everything we talk about and deal with here on this channel, and in our personal lives. So keep it to yourself, unless like the other people are supportive. Like obviously you can text me about it. But I would say like as far as like random conversations where I would normally encourage like bringing others in, now is not the time to do that, because I feel like somebody is definitely looking to pee in your Cheerios about this. Limit who I discuss it with. Did find another group of like-minded people that I can discuss it with. Good. I also feel like there's someone who could be like, they want to get you to talk about it so that they can like pick it apart. Like this person just wants to argue. The point of this reading that I keep hearing is like, you don't need to convince anybody, so don't bother trying. Not in the next month. Who's next?
Munchie Chipmunk.
Right, Mandy, exactly. Change isn't always bad, though. It equals growth. Pee in the Cheerios. Not a fan. Yeah, I couldn't think of a different way to say it. I'm sure there are a million different ways to say that. I can think of it. Munchie Chipmunk, I'm going to use Black Moon Lilith. I am going to be doing your May reading this month at some point. So when I get that, I will send you the link. Did I do that?
I'm having issues. I'm frozen.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I can see you in the back, but you're frozen. But up front, you're just a black screen. If you need to go out and come back in. Piss in your Wheaties. Yeah. Oh, there you go. All right, Miss Munchie. Yes, Area 51. I love that. A person who is 25 that still acts 18 has wasted 7 years of their life. Change happens. Embrace it. Yes. Awesome way to say that. All right. You got the Phoenix. Death and rebirth. Okay, Mark. Yeah, that would work for sure. Card number 17. Munchie, when the Phoenix Oracle card shows up in your reading, major life changes are on the horizon, so it's important that you prepare yourself. This can mean uncomfortable upheaval, unexpected events, and major shifts in mindset. Your life is about to completely change and never return to the way it was. It's important to release attachment to the outcome and to understand that this is all happening for your soul's growth. The phoenix is an ancient occult symbol linked to the zodiac sign Scorpio. Death, regeneration, and rebirth are all part of both. In ancient Egypt, the phoenix was associated with immortality and infinity. It's not a coincidence that Scorpio is the 8th sign of the zodiac, and the number 8 is also the shape of the infinity symbol. The phoenix is depicted as an eagle-like bird with vibrant gold and red feathers that would live for 500 years, die, and then immediately be reborn. Ancient Egyptians believed that just before death of the I don't know why I got tongue-tied there. Ancient Egyptians believed that just before death, the phoenix makes a nest of cinnamon, myrrh, and herbs. It then sets its nest on fire as it bursts into flame and destroys itself. A new phoenix rises from the ashes, and when it grows strong enough, it creates an egg from its old ashes and places it at the altar of the sun god Ra. The phoenix burning invokes the alchemical practice of embodying your true frequency through shadow work, life upheaval, and integration of what's blocking your light. This mystical process of soul ascension and internal transformation cannot happen without an ego death or dark night of the soul. It teaches us that we can go through dramatic shifts in our lives and return renewed. When this card appears, it's time for you to ride this wave of change toward your more aligned and true future self. New realities are crashing in. It's time for upheaval and transformation. Have no fear. This is just a part of the process. Munchie, yeah. This is a lot of change, and I don't think any of it's expected. I do feel like you're in the middle of this. It's like relationships are ending all over the place, not just romantic, but it's like it may feel crazy. It may feel like you're living in a nightmare. And this could last for a really long time, but the quicker you accept that all of this happened for a reason, for your higher good, right? So you can learn these lessons that can move you forward and ascend you spiritually, if that makes sense. The quicker you latch onto that mindset and really believe it. Listen, I suggest faking it until you make it. It's what I do. I just pretend to be okay with it. And while you can't force manifestation, you do have to bring yourself into a mindset of acceptance somehow. If you are absolutely like in disbelief and shock over things that are changing and things that are happening, how do you bounce yourself back from it? Is it inauthentic to just pretend to be okay with it and going with the flow until finally you're so used to that that's what you're actually doing? A lot of people will say yes. I don't think so. It's kind of how it's like what I'm activating on right now, right? It's how I'm living certain areas of my life of just like, okay, I don't get it. I don't want to get it. This is BS, but here we are. And moving along in that way, counting your blessings, keeping a journal. It's so important. And paying attention to any downloads that may come in. You are going through already this very long, dramatic, life-altering, soul-shifting process. And it's very hard, and it can be very heartbreaking, disheartening. It could rip you apart from the inside out. I'm not going to pull any punches with you. This isn't the greatest thing to have to go through. But when you come out the other side of it, you won't even be able to recognize your own strength, your own power, and the fact that you now are vibrating high enough that you understand you create your own destiny, and then you will start doing that. So depending on where you're at in this process, hopefully not the beginning, you have to find radical acceptance. As soon as you can truly feel the acceptance of like, it is what it is, you will move out of this dark night of the soul and into awakening. Oh, that would be so awesome if I could meet with you. Someday, guys, don't worry about it. Someday. Who's next?
Mandy.
All right, Miss Mandy girl, let's see. I'm going to use the Divine Circus. Don't fall. Thank you. Oh, Munchie, awesome. That's good. So at least you're like aware of it, I know it's painful. There's like no words I can say accept that it will get better. And the faster you accept that things are what they are and life is what it is and the universe is doing this for you, not to you, you will be so much better off. All right. Hey, Netter. Nutslab, you're the only person I know. Like, I haven't heard that term in so long. Actually, I think you and I were discussing that. I can't even say it out loud because I don't want to get demonetized, but you and I were discussing. You're so welcome. All right, Miss Mandy girl, let's do it. Dark Harlequin. Card number 27. You are a spiritual adventurer. You are not afraid to go to the edge of what you know, of who you have believed yourself to be, even when before you there lies the darkness of unknown worlds, of undiscovered parts of you. Even when you feel uncertainty, discomfort, or doubt, you are still willing, even if quaking in your boots, to figure out what it's all about. This fine and fierce attitude gives you a special kind of grace, the grace to discover that you are a living, wild, divinely free, and empowered force to be reckoned with in this world. That discovery sets you free from fear and unleashes you upon a path of loving, wild creation and joyful abandon. So you have come to a place in you and in your life where you don't know. You don't know what's happening. You don't know how to work through it. You don't know who you are. Well, not all of who you are anyway. And you don't know what you don't know. You're at this point of not knowing because you're growing. There will be surprises. There will be discoveries. You'll feel awkward, like you're trying to see in the dark at times. You'll wonder if you're supposed to be so confused, if you're supposed to feel like you aren't sure who you are anymore, or even if the things that once made sense in your life are supposed to seem so fragile, as though life, once thought rock solid, actually turns out to be the house of cards. The answer, of course, is yes. Yes, it's a royally divine mess. Don't be afraid to let there be some inner rattling and rampaging. The Dark Harlequin card comes to you at a time when you are naturally diving into the darkness for healing purposes. So ask the difficult questions. Do things you wouldn't normally do. Experiment with thinking in ways you wouldn't normally think. Be willing to let everything change for the better by first letting go of how things are now. The messier your inner world seems to be right now, the more you can expect complete and utter transformation as a new order comes into form. Expect the unexpected, for you were born to grow into what is happening now. It's time to let the wild thing within out. Yeah. This is like, yeah, we have to be okay with the darkness sometimes. We have to understand that, like, you know, a lot of people who don't know me well and who've only come in here like once or twice and hung out for a few minutes are like, you can't preach that we're not allowed to be angry as human beings. That's not what I'm saying at all. Of course we get angry. I'm saying your reactions and your responses to the anger or to the disappointments, to the heartbreaks, how you deal with it shows the universe a lot about your energy and who you are as a person. And right now, I feel like you're back and forth with a lot of things. You're confused and you have every right to be so. The universe does allow for that. There's nothing perfect about being human. So, Mandy, stop trying to rush through whatever this is you're going through. Stop trying to heal overnight. You have a lot of healing to do. You have a lot of lessons to learn, like we all do. So take the time to, grow through what you go through, feel the emotions and then release them for once and for all. When you're just suppressing them or pretending like, these negative feelings aren't there, you will eventually end up exploding. It's reactive and it's natural. So take everything as it comes, take it a day at a time. Don't make too many plans for like far off into the future. Don't expect certain situations to end up or to go a certain way, and just go with the flow of the universe for now. And if you feel lost and you feel scared, that's perfectly acceptable. Find someone to lean on your guides, your team, yourself. And when you're ready, you'll wake up one day and you'll know it and you'll move out of it. Stop trying to force yourself into this high vibration. You're not there yet. You've been through too much. You have to process through it. Eris, yes, fake it till you make it. By the way, what's up, Eris? Oof, I know. Not the best news, but in the long run, it is.
Next is Smoochie. Do you want to do a timestamp? I don't know if she's still here or not.
We can come back to her if
Okay.
she comes back in.
Then go ahead and do Nut Slap.
Nut Slap, I'm going to use the Oracle of the Universe.
Hello, sir.
Eris, that is so true. He says, and many of us have to learn how to process, and that does take time, sure. I wasn't born yet. I was 4 years off. I know. And it has been for most of us, Mandy. And at least through the second week of May, I mean, it's going to continue for most of us. It doesn't matter what your chart looks like, what your sun sign is. Like, we are all going through it as a collective. I'm not touching it. I walked right into that one. I'm not. You're welcome, sweetie. A disco, not for Lola. You're welcome so much, sweetheart. All right, Sir Slap. You got the Nebula Flame, the card of ingenuity. Card number 36. Okay. What often sets us apart from most other species is the complexity of our ingenuity. Yet there are a few aspects of civilizing that absolutely sped up our human development, and one of those was the capture of fire. Fire gave us the ability to eat more foods that were not available to us without cooking. It kept us warm in inclement weather. It enabled certain hunting techniques and better tool making, and eventually the use of metals. Prometheus, the son of the Titan Iapetus, was asked by Zeus to create man. After deftly forming man from water and earth, the humans that were formed by sacred clay were fashioned in the god's image, unlike other animals. These new beings became beloved by Prometheus, even though it seemed they had no fur for warmth, no great teeth for protection, were short-lived, and possessed few skills to help them survive well. Feeling pity for his magnificent creations, Prometheus decided to help them, although he knew to do so would bring upon him the wrath of the king of all gods, Zeus. Already in trouble for his foresight in tricking Zeus into accepting a different, and in Zeus's eyes, lesser way of men honoring and sacrificing to him, Prometheus could only at first watch as Zeus took the vital gift of fire from mankind. Prometheus knew that fire would allow man to grow and thrive and was necessary to their survival. He knew that all art and skills such as metal making would only blossom with fire. So Prometheus crept into Zeus's own hearth and lit a small flame within a stalk of giant fennel, took the fire, and was able to escape the notice of Zeus, but not for long. Zeus was outraged that man now had fire, and fire would mean progression and growth. Zeus instructed Vulcan to fashion woman, yes, as a negative distraction for man, and to rivet the body of Prometheus to a mountain. Wow. Here, a great eagle would pick up Prometheus's liver until sunset every day, pick at Prometheus's liver until sunset every day, whereupon the organ would magically regrow overnight so we could relive the same agony each day for eternity. Happily, the hero Heracles eventually slew the eagle and freed Prometheus. The Flame Nebula is an emission nebula and is approximately 6 light years across. An emission nebula is one formed by different ionized gases with different wavelengths. Words of power. I am full of purpose and of passion. This is you understanding what you're capable of in the best possible way, you know. Oh, Miss Heather, in the best possible way. This isn't like, you know, putting yourself down. Like I always say, like, I know, I'm awkward. And my mentor's like, don't say that. Like, not even in jest. You're not awkward. You're awesome. You're well-spoken. You're, you know, telling yourself these things sarcastically, trying to be cute or funny, or to make someone else laugh, this self-deprecating thing that a lot of humans do. I know I do it. I'll call attention to something I'm uncomfortable with about myself before anyone else has a chance to do it and make it a joke. That way, if anyone brings it up, they seem stupid for bringing it up because I already said that, right? That is not what this card is talking about. And in fact, it's the exact opposite. This is you being confident in yourself, not cocky, not egotistical, but just being like, yeah, like I'm good at XYZ, but then using those things that you know you're good at to your advantage. If you knew, I don't even know. Like for me with Oracle reading, if I know I can do this, why would I not be helping people? You know what I'm saying? And my life got so much better and brighter once I started putting this gift to use, helping others. Right. And Mike, that's great to be awkward and to love it, but to say it in a self-deprecating manner. This is telling you to watch your negative self-talk, even in a joking, sarcastic type of manner. It's bringing down your vibration. And I feel like that is what's blocking a lot of your abundance. You're not even realizing it because you're only kidding. Like, you're joking. There are tons of things about yourself I'm sure that you love and you're good at. But you have to learn to, number one, put those things into practice. Go out there and chase whatever it is that you want, even if it seems impossible. And also give yourself the same amount of credit for the things you do that you would give someone you care about for doing the same things. I'm just saying. I don't know.
Next is Heather B.
Oh, Miss Heather. Let's use Wild Woman. I do agree. I'm awesome. Good. But work with it. You're welcome. Thank you, sir. I'm wearing the serpentine ring you bought me, I think for Christmas last year or my birthday. By the way, because it matches the camo shirt. All right. Miss Heather. I'm so glad, like, in the past few months, we've gotten a few new people who have really, come in every week and who are really doing the work personally, just by the exposure to us in this chat and to this channel. And I just want to say, I think that's so incredibly amazing. I went from gaining maybe 11 subscribers a month to almost 400 in the last 28 days. It's exciting. It's an exciting time, guys. Okay, so Heather, you got Morana, the goddess of death. It is the death card, which we know most of us in tarot and in Oracle, death is very significant, major, massive change. It's not actually a death. If I were to see a death, I used to not say anything. And then people that I knew were going to pass ended up passing. I would feel guilty. So, yeah. Now I would just tell you, but that is not what this is talking about. Card number 36, Morada. It might be Morada. I'm not good with pronouncing things and stuff. Heather, what metaphorical death is currently taking place in your life, and how can you accept this ending with grace and gratitude for all it's teaching you? Just as summer's warmth and light must ultimately succumb to the cold and darkness of winter, Morana reminds you that endings and death are a natural part of the cycle of life. The death of a relationship, career, or even of an old version of yourself is not a failure, but the closing and successful completion of a season. Morana, a well-known goddess in countries such as Russia, Ukraine, Poland, and Slovakia, is the Slavic goddess of winter and death, although she is also associated with rebirth, illness, harvest, the underworld, witchcraft, and nightmares. In Slavic mythology, Morana seduces the sun god Dazbog, and when he replaces her with another lover, she's so angry and heartbroken she poisons him. In retaliation, Dazbog burns Morana and banishes her to Nav, which is the underworld. Even today, in countries such as Poland and Slovakia, the folk ritual of burning and drowning in effigy of Morana on either the fourth Sunday of Lent or the spring equinox means a yearly tradition. Depicted either as an old crone or a young maiden with pale skin and long dark hair and holding a scythe, Morana is the embodiment of the cold, harsh grip of winter and the starvation, illness, and death that it brought to the ancient Slavs. The name Marana may derive from the Proto-Indo-European root mar or mor, meaning death. Some say that the sun descended into the underworld of Nav during the winter, as Marana symbolically pulled Dajbog, the sun, into her bitter embrace at the autumn equinox, until he broke free from the grasp at the spring equinox. I say equinox and equinox in equal measure because I don't know how it's actually pronounced. All right, Miss Smoochie, we'll get to you right away. I just wanted to see if you'd come back in. Otherwise, I would have time-stamped you at the end. Heather, I feel like you know there's a lot in your life that's not only changing, but that needs to change. And I feel like as much as you're authentically willing to accept these changes as they come, you may be more hesitant to initiate them, if that makes sense. It's like, for example, you know a relationship has to end and it's heartbreaking and, you know, you never expected this to happen, but you know it has to happen. But that's a far cry from you actually ending it, right? And I feel like there are more than one of these situations, maybe a few in your life right now, where you know something has to give, you know what has to change, but you don't know how, and you don't know how it's going to happen. This card is basically telling you, Heather, that you do need to fully accept the death of whatever this is. If it's a romantic relationship, if it could be with a best friend you've known your whole life, it could be with someone in your family, like something here is toxic and needs to go. Whether or not you're going to be the one to initiate it or not is what's going to make all the difference to the universe, right? And maybe you're not ready, but I feel like the acceptance still isn't 1000% there, like the universe needs it to be before it can move on and start making things happen for abundance in your life. There's still a part of you that thinks, well, maybe, you know, if I do this, or if this person could get themselves together to do that, that is not going to happen. This relationship or situation, whatever it was meant to end. And it was meant to end in this way at this time. The longer you procrastinate and hold back from that full acceptance, the longer it's going to take for the universe to move that out, clear that energy, that space, let you process, and then bring something better and more abundant in. And that's a really deep message. So try to sit with it a little bit. Try to really understand that as much as it hurts and as painful as it is and as confusing as it might be, this was meant to end, and it was meant to end now. Ghost Dragons, did you text me?
Yeah, my internet.
Okay. Just making sure it was you so I don't have to check it.
Next is Smoochie. She's here.
All right, Miss Smoochie girl.
Sorry about that. I think there was a hand and foot involved in that.
Smoochie, I'm going to use the Raven's Wand. Dandy Andy. Oh, thank you, Miss Smoochie. I love this deck, but it's small, so I always end up putting it on the bottom and then forgetting about it. It's a small but powerful deck, this one. Oh, Miss Smoochie. Anything you want to share in stream, or maybe you want to text? I don't know if I unblocked you, but I will. I'll have to check that. I know, baby. Let me do that now, because I feel like you're going to need help getting through this. So give me a second, guys. I'm sorry. Okay. Okay. All right, Miss Smoochie, you got sanctuary in the upright. Bruce sits in his study surrounded by objects both sacred and sentimental. They are touchstones to his past, providing him fond friends as well as spiritual allies in times of hardship. This is the power of a sanctuary. Fill it with mementos and treasures, whether obscure or humble, it doesn't matter, provided they resonate with you. In our sanctuary, we feel safe and at peace. From this fortress, we can reflect without bias and ponder without fear, pressure, anxiety, or confusion. Yeah, this is you finding your place to process this and other things that are going on in your life that I'm sure are a lot less significant now that you're dealing with something this major. The universe is telling you, like, make sure that you're processing everything, that you are crying, that you are going through it, that you are dealing, and that you're not in denial or that you're not overly optimistic. Being realistic about this situation is the best thing you can do right now. I do feel like you need a safe place to do this. I don't know why I'm seeing like you holding everything in, I guess, to be strong for others. And that's perfectly okay if that's how you feel you need to be, or if that's how you do need to be. But you also need a place where you can go to feel completely and totally free to let out whatever emotion you need to let out. This will also stop you from taking it out on others without meaning to, because I feel like the more you suppress, this rage, this righteous anger, this heartbreak, this fear, this all of these insane emotions that you're feeling right now, very amped up. And what is the word I'm looking for? When there's like a lot of emotion. Just like there's so much of it, right? And there's so many different emotions. Hey, Mark. You don't cry, but you need to, and you need to make sure that you're giving yourself, even if it's not like a physical place that's a sanctuary, you need to give yourself the grace to be able to handle your emotions the way you see fit and to get through the process, okay? You cannot suppress any of this because it will come out later on and it will present itself in a very negative and toxic way. So please take this into consideration. So if you don't have a place like a she shed or, some area of your home or property where you can go and be alone and deal with this, make sure that you are dealing with it. Okay. Come hell or high water in one way or another. It's not just going to go away, and the feelings aren't just going to go away. Even if you feel like you can suppress them, they are eventually going to come back to haunt you and destroy you.
Ready? Next is divine.
Divine, I'm going to use energy and spirit for you as well. Just make sure wherever you go, you process it. Even if you're screaming into the wind and cursing, like, you need to process these emotions because you will suffer for it if you don't. I know it can be hard. I don't say a lot about death because I experience it differently, and I come off as like callous, and so I kind of just sidestep it as best I can with people, but just please get through it. However you can, as long as you're not pretending that, you know, it's not all happening, or that you're not feeling the things that you are. And Edna, absolutely. Scream like a banshee if you need to, Smoochy. Hilton, what's up? Paradox Fossils, if you're still here and would like a reading, please let us know. Divine, you got Angels of the Seven Chakras, card number 35, Power, Truth, and Connection in the reverse shadow position. Okay, so, I mean, guys, this card is just talking about each chakra that you kind of need to focus on. I'll go with it, but normally if I was doing this in a personal, I would pull an additional card. This card reverse indicates the angels of the 3 lower chakras. Michael, the first or root chakra, helps anytime you need strength or stamina. If you're dealing with feelings of insecurity, whether personal or financial, you can call on him. Ariel, second or sacral chakra, assists with fertility, family, and intimacy issues. She also helps with animals and pets. And Chamuel, third or solar plexus chakra. This is your life force energy center. So call on him if you have lost hope or enthusiasm, or even if you're having periods of low energy. He can also rekindle your interest in your life goals and the excitement in your life. Affirmation, my chakras are open to their perfect, healthy, vital state. Angels bring healing and balance to my body, mind, and spirit. And I feel like that's kind of what this is about, right? You're a little bit out of balance. But you know this because you read tarot and you do all of this too, where it's like, I know I feel like this so much. Like, how am I helping so many people spiritually evolve? And I feel like I am just taking 10 steps backwards every time I take half a step forward, right? You could be going through something like that in the next few weeks. Please keep in mind the energy of the astrology, right? So Mercury is in lemonade, as my friend Nick says. Mercury's out here retrograde in everybody. And I feel like that has a lot to do with it. Divine empathic, whatever you're dealing with. Oh my God, I thought I heard a noise and I just thought it was another earthquake. Whatever it is that you're dealing with personally and professionally, I feel like it's because you're blocked. Not necessarily that your chakras are blocked, which they could be. Do a total realignment. Don't just focus on the lower 3, do all of them. I never find the sense in just focusing on one and then moving on, because that one's more open and like vibrating higher than the others, and you're still uneven and out of balance. I don't know, it's OCD in me. But I feel like you're struggling here because you are not as open as you'd like to be. The reason for that is acceptance. I was just talking to Smoochy about it, where it's like, Heather, I was talking about it too. It's like, you know, something has to end or something has to happen. You know what it is, you know who it involves, but it's like, you can't imagine taking the step. Now, this could be a change within yourself, something that you know you need to do, or that you need to give up, or that you need to become, or you need, like, there's something here, some need, some spiritual need that you're not giving yourself over to. And this is all just channeling in, so I'll have to go back and listen to what I'm saying. Connection to your spirit team, your angels, your guides right now is really important. So pull tarot for yourself. Listen to guided meditations. Make sure your chakras are aligned. Tibetan singing bowls, maybe some sound healing. Divine empathic, I feel like you, Miss Lyra, hold that thought. It's like you're on the precipice of something and you know it, but you're not taking into consideration all of these blockages and all of these little details, right? So that's what the universe wants you to do in the next few months. You did just call on Chamuel. Energy has been down. Make sure you do that and be mindful of like the little energetic shifts around you. There are people that just have to go. There are people that need to be invited in. And if you're paying attention to those little tiny specks of energy shift, you're going to be amazing. If you keep ignoring the obvious, you're going to continuously be screwed. Miss Paranormal Pixie said, Gemma, in your case, I just heard you are doing the work for several lifetimes to catapult you to your highest level. Miss Pixie, that's actually incredible that you said that, because a few weeks ago, I believe I mentioned it to Ghost Dragons and possibly either Darling Deb or Tennille, where I was talking about having to break this generational curse that I started lifetimes ago, where I just kind of languished through a whole bunch of lifetimes. So it's like now I feel like I have to catch up, and that's why everything is so hard. Also, the more spiritually evolved we are in this lifetime or any lifetime, the harder our life will be. It seems like it would be easier the more spiritually evolved, but it's actually the opposite. The more spiritually evolved you are, the harder your life is, because when you're charting a path in the fifth dimension with your guides, your angels, your team, whoever you believe it is that's over there with you, soulmates and soul kin and all that, you forget what it's like to be, you forget the human experience. You remember in concept, but so you're so evolved that you're like, I can get through that. And you forget that like you're human while doing this, you know, it doesn't compute. And that's why that happens. I appreciate you saying that. That's amazing. Because I was literally just talking about that. Who's next?
Life with Bobby. Oh, and Josephine, if you're still in the background somewhere, let me know.
Life with Bobby, I'm going to use the celebrity spirit for you. Don't do that. There you go. Thank you, Miss Divine Empathic, for being a member for 6 months. Thank you to all my members for being patient with me and understanding, you know, that I can only do what I can do right now. You guys are still so supportive. I appreciate it so much. Yeah, Miss Pixie, definitely do so, because it does. I was literally just saying the exact same thing. I have languished for so long throughout so many lifetimes that this time it's like I was either going to get it or not, you know, and I got it finally, but I love you too. Good night, Miss Mandy. Have a great rest of your weekend. Because you forget that money means something. That's why. Like, you only understand it in concept. All right, Miss Bobby. Love this deck. Yes. I've seen several people thanking in the community tab for the gifted memberships. Whoever's doing that. I know Long Island Bigfoot. I know Miss Pixie, you do it. Whoever's doing that, that's amazing. Thank you so much. And you know what? If you still feel that way when you're in spirit, it will be. But again, the harder the life, the more you've learned, the more evolved you'll become, the happier, quote unquote, for lack of a better word, you're going to end up being. So you may not be. You may want more of the learning and the growing and the experiencing. It's a paradox, the ultimate paradox. Foxy Joe, hi. Life with Bobby, you got card number 10, John Lennon, choose peace. John, he was an explorer, also spiritual seeker, philanthropist, and activist. John Winston Lennon was born on the 9th of October, 1940 in Liverpool, England. He died of a gunshot wound on the 8th of December, 1980 in New York. He was a Libra. Damien's birthday is the 9th of October, by the way. John Lennon was a singer and co-lead vocalist and rhythm guitarist with the world-renowned band The Beatles from Liverpool. Just before the disbandment of The Beatles, he started another band with his second wife, Japanese artist Yoko Ono, and later became a solo artist. So it was October 9th in his hometown of Liverpool, by the way, when he passed. John was a strong character with a great wit and rebellious nature. This showed up in his music, political views, writing, drawings, and on film. In 1975, he disengaged from the music business to raise his infant son and sadly was hunted down and murdered in the archway of his Manhattan apartment building. I talked about this in the videos I did about generational curses and cursed movie sets. This was connected to Rosemary's Baby. He lived in the building where Rosemary's Baby was filmed. The message, give peace a chance and see the world change. Tuning into John was amusing as he was very animated, swore a lot, and talked nonstop with a thick English accent. He spoke of his music, which I feel he was very protective of. and also the way he saw the world and life in general. I have chatted with him a few more times over the years in my own private seances and have listened to him speak through other mediums in different groups, and the dialogue is always the same, very direct and very funny. I always remember thinking what a brilliant person he must have been when he was alive, as he was very personable when he came through and so down to earth with no airs or graces. John seemed just like a normal everyday man, and I was fascinated with his view on things as he came across as having a strong opinion about certain things in the world. One night after a sitting, we were all in stitches and could not believe what a character he was as we chatted about the sessions and his unique and very English way of speaking and thinking. John even gave one of our sitters, who claimed to be a professional singer, some advice. This is a great time, Bobby, for adventure and having faith in the process of stepping forward with a voice and telling everyone around you everything you've believed in, dreamt of, or known your whole life, as it's now coming to the fore and needs to be heard. You will now feel you have the creative power and ability to manifest what you desire. Thank you, Divine. As you inspire others around you with your thoughts and ideas. If you've been thinking of writing, public speaking, joining a political group, or some type of organization, now is the time for working with like-minded people. It's time to spread your wings and reach for the sky and to believe in your innate beliefs and visions instead of just thinking about it. This will create a ripple effect for people of similar energy. So Life with Bobby, once again, we're talking about the ripple effect that we're never going to get to see that we have on others. So people with gifts and abilities, which we all have our own, right? I mean, there's nobody in here who isn't unique in some way, even with as same as we all are. Divine Empathic, go have your meeting and go enjoy it and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you so much. I was going to say go have fun, and then I remembered where you said you were going. Maybe it's fun. Life with Bobby. I feel like there's a chance here that you've been wanting to take for a while. And I don't really think it's like taking a chance. I feel like you think it's taking a chance. Like you want to say something or you want to voice your opinion about something, but you feel like it's a risk doing so because you can alienate someone or alienate people. I feel like you know, though, what you're talking about. And I feel like whatever this is that you have to say definitely needs to be heard. Publishing poetry. Here is your sign from the universe that yes, you are meant to do that. Am I back? Because I saw myself freeze. Okay. That you are meant to do that. And it's something you should explore. You should never hold yourself back when you know that you're perfectly capable of doing something well, or even just doing it. Taking chances, taking risks, and trusting in the universe is a big message here for you for the next couple of months. Make sure that you say what you mean and you mean what you say, so nothing gets lost in translation. That's awesome. Holding yourself back, it's like, what's the reason? Is it a fear of rejection? Are you looking for validation like from other people? Learn to validate yourself. Like, yes, I'm doing this. I know why I'm doing it. I'm happy doing it. Your happiness is as good a reason as anything to do something, as long as you're not hurting other people or anyone else. But what advice would you give someone you love about this? Right? Right, Miss Casey? Bobby, if you have someone that you love, like the person you love more than anyone else on this planet, and they were going to do whatever this is you've been holding back on, what advice would you give them? You would tell them, like, follow your dream, follow your heart, do what makes you happy. So why are you not doing that? And that's not a judgment. It's not even it's just a hypothetical question, right? But ask yourself and then answer with, I'm going to do it. You really should. This is the universe pushing you in that direction for a reason. You're probably going to end up touching someone else or inspiring someone else. I get emails and messages all the time that I inspired this one, or I, inadvertently stopped that one from doing this bad thing, or this person. And it blows my mind because to me, it's just like, well, I'm just here doing this. But the ripple effect you'll have on the world that you will never, ever get to see is amazing. And it will affect the energy in a positive way, just like we can easily affect it in the negative as well. Please go for it. Oh, Life with Bobby, girl, me too. Going back to my teenage self. We can't take our own good advice. Yeah. We seem to be very good at taking our own sloppy advice, right? Or at least I know I am. But, it's time to pull out of that. Believe in yourself. Have confidence. You are going to touch other people's lives in such a positive way. And you may not ever know that, but you'll intrinsically know that that's what you're doing because you're doing what you were meant to do. The time is now. Who's next?
Next is Josephine, and she said she was here.
Josephine, let's do Del on a wait. Paranormal Pixie, it's so true. She says it's difficult, but we have to treat ourselves like we would a best friend. Right. We're all like always saying like, I'm my own worst enemy. That's not good. It's not even funny. We need to be our own best friends and our biggest support system for ourselves, not in an egotistical, like cocky, narcissistic way, but just like you know who you are. We are all sent into a lifetime of solitary confinement in our own skin. We all know ourselves better than anyone else is ever going to know us because we know what's really in here and what's really in here. We know our own motivations, right? So, yeah, and that's because of your energy. And life with Bobby, if you feel like you absolutely cannot muster up enough confidence, go to the people you know will support you. Don't go to someone that you know is going to just bring you down, because we have people like that too that are just as scared as we are. Ego, edging God out. That is your fear over tea. Let's not do that. Yeah, it looks like it could be good, but what if nobody likes it? What if you fail miserably? What if, like, you're going to be asking yourself, what if I had done that for the rest of your life? All right, Miss Josephine, let's see what we got here. Rapunzel. Card number 18. A wicked witch had locked me away in a tower, using my long hair to climb up to me. One day, a prince discovered the tower. He climbed up and we fell in love, but the witch found out about our hopes of marriage. In anger, she cut off my hair and scratched my prince's eyes. We were separated for years, but then one day, after wandering through the country, the prince found me in the wilderness. From this moment on, we lived happily ever after. You have locked yourself in an ivory tower, which in a way is fine, since by doing so you have learned to grow self-sufficient. However, the moment has come for you to get out of this protective yet limited cocoon. Time is running quick. You cannot spend your whole life away from the world, so carefully choose who you let in, and even more important, choose to get out and free yourself from everything that could restrain your territory. These are translated from, I think, Italian, so that's why the language is a little bit off. But listen, Josephine, taking a step back from toxicity and codependency and narcissism, neglect, abuse, all the stuff that comes along with those toxic, negative, very lower vibrational relationships is one thing. But when you're getting to a point where like the only person you trust is yourself, that is a problem. The universe has a problem with that. Okay. This card is also talking about deceit. Like you are deceiving yourself into thinking that everyone around you has bad intentions. Or it's the opposite, and you're deceiving yourself into thinking that no one is ever going to hurt you again, right? It's like one extreme or another. Josephine, with this card, I want you to really think things through before you tell even a little white lie in the next week or two, and think about the consequences and repercussions, how this could come back to haunt you, and really pay attention to the lies you're telling yourself. You have isolated yourself either from society as a whole, from everyone you know, or from a few specific people that you kind of, it's like guilt by association, kind of like you were treated poorly in a romantic relationship, so now your male best friend, you don't want anything to do with him. Like, you know what I mean? The math isn't mathing. The universe is saying you are cutting out the wrong people because you're not coming from like a place of love. You're coming from a place of fear. You're afraid to be hurt again, so you're not going to let anybody in. You're afraid to move on with your life for whatever reason, so you're just going to stay in your quote-unquote ivory tower and not have to deal with anyone. You're getting to a point where you're spiritually, instead of elevating, you're actually lowering yourself. The opportunities for abundance, the glow up, the boss up energy is not hitting you because you're blocked. You're blocked because of the lies you're telling yourself. I don't know what that means, but that is coming in loud and clear. You are blocked because of the lies you are telling yourself. Whatever that means to you, do what you need to do what you can do. Make amends with people you may have hurt because you were upset, maybe feeling spiteful, coming from a place of anger instead of a place of love. And even when you deal with toxic people, you don't have to also be toxic. It really does damage and ruin your spirit. You know, I feel guilty every time I have a reactive abuse type response to something, because I know that that's not me. And I know that that's just the old me, you know, reacting to so much pain and hurt and neglect and anger, or whatever the sad, depressive feelings are of somebody mistreating me. Josephine, stop lying to yourself, whatever that's about. New England Dart Roadie did not want a reading. He just came in to say hello. Nomeo, I'm going to use Into the Lonely Woods. And I have the same thing, like, my whole life it's been like that. Like, grown adults telling 9-year-olds me about their, like, relationship problems. I don't know. It's just your light, you know? And you can close that off if it becomes draining or too much, you know? But it is hard, because if someone's coming to you needing to speak to someone, what are you going to do, you know? But it's always about self-preservation in a non-narcissistic way, right? It's like not self-preservation just for the sake of it, but because you literally can't handle one more tale of woe, or whatever the case may be. And that's okay. It's perfectly reasonable to not want to accept everyone else's BS onto your energy all day, every day. You got to pick and choose what's right for you at the right time. You're welcome, Miss Josephine. Good luck. Nomeo, you got Plight of the Wanderer. Imagine that. Card number 14. There may come a sleepless night when you must walk with your troubles until they feel larger than you can continue to bear. There will come a night when the journey has taken you so far that you feel the burdens of your needs must be laid down and you must free yourself from them. This card comes to you, Andrew, to say that you must know now that some of your troubles you carry are not yours. They don't belong to you. And this is exactly what we're talking about. And yet you carry them. There will be a wise one who tells you to share some of these troubles for a time. They will help you to know which to keep, learn from, and remember, and which can be put aside, acknowledged as not yours to carry, and buried softly into the good earth to heal, change, and become a part of the great all that is. Andrew, this is you finally, like, letting go, right? Finally understanding what energy is yours and what energy is not yours, right? So, for example, if you're in I'm just using this as an example, like, you're in a toxic relationship, you start to behave very toxically, specifically towards that person, even if it's to that person only, because you've now taken on that person's negative, lower vibrational energy as your own. You don't know, you feel caged, you don't know how to give this energy back and behave in a calm and civil manner, because you're not being treated in a calm and civil manner. I definitely feel like you're very open right now, Andrew, and you meet a lot of people. So I want you to be very careful in the next few weeks that you're not feeling things that aren't yours. Do you know what I'm saying? Make sure if you're angry about something, it's your anger. Make sure if you're hurt, it's your pain. Do you understand? I feel like someone is trying to, like, put all their crap on you, and you just, they think you just, like, absorb it, you know, like you're just there for them to sling poop at or whatever. And this may be a person that you haven't even met yet. So be careful of people coming in as well. Make sure, especially in the next week or two, until April 25th at least, that you are paying very close attention to who you're spending time with, even if it's just 5 minutes, because you're so open and you're absorbing so much right now, because you're going through this spiritual enlightenment, this growth and this change of ability and spirit and self, that you can't help but attract lower vibrational negative people, and you're also too nice to tell them to leave you alone. Don't be too nice, okay, you have to just be like, I don't have time like to have this conversation, or like, I'm really sorry, but you know, am I the person you should be telling this to? It's exactly what Aunt Anna and I were just talking about. Like, you're taking on too much of what isn't yours, and all it's doing is dragging you down. Also, in the next few weeks, don't let someone blame you for something that isn't your fault. Don't just accept it like, okay, I'm just going to agree with this so I can move on. No, because when you actually accept responsibility for something, even if you're just playing along so that you can get out of the situation, you're still taking that on. It's still on your energy, and you're still going to have to sit with it. It's still going to sit on your energy. Stand up for yourself, say what you mean what you say, and make sure there's no confusion in between. It's okay to be firm with someone. You don't have to be unkind or rude, just firm. I feel like this is time in the next 2 weeks for you to take some time to yourself and maybe not meet so many new people, or not just accept so much toxicity as these people are how they are. They're not changing. Well, that's great. They don't have to change. But what should change is you removing yourself from their lives. We don't owe anyone explanation or closure. We give it as grace when it's not going to hurt us. Smoochie, you're being summoned by Sir Eris. Who's next?
Okay, Eris passed. So, is Mark Webster still here? And if Mark Webster don't answer here pretty soon, go ahead and do Hilton. And then if Foxy Joe still wants a reading, then Foxy Joe, then you're
Mark Webster, Hilton, Foxy Joe. Then I'm going to read for Casey and Blue Crossroads and call it a night. But I do have to use the little girl's room, so I'll be right back.
No, she can't go.
Oh, I didn't ask.
I know you didn't. That's my life. They just tell me. So hello, everybody that's come in and evening. I hope everybody that's come in late is having a good one. I hope so. Everybody have a good weekend. Yeah, she is typical. I'm used to it. Story of my life. People dropping the mic on me. Nothing new. Oh, Jules, you're back. Okay. So, once again, I know she didn't ask us. I'm not. She's the boss. I'm just being a pinhead. Mark, if you're still here, do you want a reading? I know Hilton will take a reading. You usually do. And then Joe, Foxy Joe, if you're still around, do you want a reading? And then we'll fit you in. Jules, oh, you never left? It wouldn't. Your name wasn't coming up. I wasn't sure. I thought somebody said that you would be back, but we'll get you in, dear. If Mark Webster doesn't answer, we'll do you, Jules, and then we'll do Hilton, because I guess Mark and Webster and Foxy Joe must not want a reading.
All right, so we'll start with Julie Girl.
Do Julie.
What about Mike J?
Didn't I call him?
No.
Okay, well then we better get Mike J in before he comes and beats the crap out of me. And hits me
All
with
right,
some
Miss
lightning
Julie
and all that crap.
We're going to use Divine Circus. And Nassim. I never thought I could connect with people online until you folks, for sure. Julie Girl, you got the good geisha or geisha, card number 18. Your favorite deck, that's right. You are ready to opt out of a game that most people play unconsciously. It's a game of image and appearance at the expense of true self. So many people are so used to playing this game, they no longer realize they're doing it. They don't really know who they are, and they're afraid to really find out. They live behind masks that appeal to others, but slowly starve their authentic self, denying it the opportunity to experience being seen and to receive real love. Any promise of success, love, or wealth that begins with you contorting yourself into something you're not is a false promise. It cannot deliver anything worthy to you. You are not one of those fearful souls, but you know what it's like to have been caged in an invisible prison, a way of thinking and being that's not good for you. In times gone by, your soul has been shackled, your voice silenced, your true beauty hidden under more appropriate and acceptable guises, your intentions misunderstood, and your words misconstrued. You've been like a beautiful wild creature, captured as though somehow you could be tamed and changed. Get him out, please. Fortunately, your sacred rage and divine defiance has rattled the cage of your past, forcing the door to swing open. You can and must continue to set yourself free. Be free from the expectations, opinions, and projections of others. Be free even from the self-image that you convinced yourself you were supposed to be. Be unafraid to discover the depths of your own being coming to life. If you do not, you shall bind yourself to a life far too bland for the color and majesty of your soul. Being what another wants you to be is a false promise of love, and you are destined for love, real, wild, pure, and true. Make sure you start by giving it to yourself. Then you can share it with others and receive it from others too. Thanks, guys. Again, not talking about them because we don't want them in our energy. So out of all the cards tonight, Miss Julie girl, I'm not really surprised that I resonated the most with this one. Okay. Guys, I keep hearing rumblings. I don't know if I have like a tiny, teeny thing of PTSD. Like every time I hear like a truck rumble by, I'm like earthquake. Very traumatic. I'm sorry, Jules, but that my heart just like stopped for a second. Hold on, please. This is a very uncomfortable way to live, and it's painful. When you feel like you have to dim yourself or even dumb yourself down, where you have to constantly agree to disagree because other people or the other person won't listen to you. Another person that you care about sees you as less than when you're being your most authentic self. And it could be too that like these people or this person originally pretended to accept you as you were. And then like as time went by, this is very toxic, whatever it is. Jules, you are beautiful inside and out. Okay. You should not be dimming your light or turning yourself off, dumbing yourself down, going along to get along because someone else doesn't like your ideas, because someone else doesn't want to hear what it is you have to say. Too bad. Too bad for them. But I feel like you've been so conditioned to behave this way, to do these things, that it's like second nature to you. But now that you've come into this spirituality, it's like the spiritual side of yourself that you've been getting to know for so long and you've been doing so well in this space. Now you're understanding that it's wrong, that it's not you, it's them, literally. But what are you going to do about it? I feel like there's fear here of speaking up, of showing your true self, just making your real opinions known, right? Why do you have to agree that this is just silly, but like spaghetti and meatballs is better when it's spaghetti and not ziti? It's like down to the dumbest thing. Like you're not allowed, or you feel like you're not allowed to have like any opinion about anything. I don't know who's doing this to you. I have an idea. But you have to stand up for yourself. You are letting fear overtake who you are. And it's going to end up undoing all of this beautiful, amazing work you've done. You're going to become physically sick again or physically sick. You're going to be very confused all the time. I mean, this is it's a very dangerous game to play, and like silencing yourself because it's tactful to do so. Like you don't tell a bride she looks fat in her wedding dress. That's different than agreeing that you're not the marrying type because some guy you're in love with said that to you, right? He broke your heart and hurt your feelings, but you're not going to show him that. You're going to pretend like you get it. You totally get it, that you're like this unmarriable person. I'm just using that as a stupid example, but do you understand what I'm saying? Things that you know aren't true. These people, this person spent no time getting to know who you really are. They only got to know the person you had to pretend to be to survive for so long that that's all they want. And you know what? That's too bad for them. You have to find a way to fight through this and be who you truly are. Shine as bright as you possibly can and blind that son of a gun. Done deal. If you have to get the authorities involved, get them involved. I understand. I totally get that. And I sympathize with it. But what your guides immediately just said to that was commendable. But when is it time to put Jules first? Surely someone who loves you like your father will understand that you just cannot live this way anymore. And if not, you may have to learn a hard truth about that relationship. And I'm not saying that's what it is, so please don't take me wrong, but maybe, I mean, you won't know unless you do something. Who's next? Hilton?
Yes.
Hilton, I'm going to use the gentle creatures. Good. Multifaceted Jules. Oh, okay. Past. Hilton, you got the card of past. Along the way in life, we are gifted so many things. Here on a tandem bike ride, one friend looks ahead to keep both riders on track. The other looks behind to see what's behind them. He is greeted by the sight of a friendly bird hurrying to catch up with them. When we remember to examine our surroundings, what amazing things we find. Hilton, it's all well and good to focus on the future, but we should never forget friends and experiences from the past. The questions you might want to ask yourself with this card are, what lessons from my past can help me right now? And or who am I forgetting from my past that could possibly help me in my current situation? So pedal toward the future, but always consider what's behind you. Buried in the past are small treasures of memories and people who will still be there for you. I'm not getting that at all. So the main message I'm getting from this is beware of people coming in from your past. Here's why I think it came to me this way, or came to us this way. Hilton, I do feel like you're struggling, or you are about to be struggling with something that you've struggled with before. And there's someone who was involved in that who you feel helped you through or did something to kind of help or mend or at least move you along from that situation. The thing is, that was a completely and totally different situation. And that person was a completely and totally different person at that time. This is a new lesson for you to learn. Even though it seems like the same type of situation, like, why am I dealing with this poop again? There is a reason for it. And the only way you're going to learn this lesson is by continuing to pedal forward. Let whoever needs to catch up with you do so on their own path, right? There's no waiting for your past to catch up with you. I also feel like you may have, just like we all do, some regrets, some maybe not the best decisions that you've made, not the best ways you behaved or reacted, responded to things and people, but you have to move on from that. If other people are going to keep throwing these things in your face, how badly do they really want you in their life? You can only apologize so much. Apology without change is manipulation. But I don't feel like that's what you're doing. I feel like you're just trying to move on from it. And this person just doesn't want to. It's like they like the excitement or they like the drama. They want to keep you stuck in this space so you don't move forward and end up leaving them behind. That is their problem. Hilton, somebody else's insecurities are never your problem. Now, if you love someone and they're feeling insecure and there's a way you can help them, by all means, help them. But don't let it overtake your life where you're constantly running to make this person feel better about things, right? When are they going to put in their own work? Be wary of people coming in from your past in the next 2 weeks. I highly doubt that they have good intentions with anything they're coming in for. Yeah, and I know that is so true. When you're in a bad place, you not only have to get away from that person, you also have to get away from the enablers of the situation. And guys, I did not say poopily, not yet. Have a poopily weekend, everybody. Remember energy too. Like, you could be spiritually elevating and vibrating very high, but if you're around a toxic person who's like abusive towards you or who just doesn't treat you very good and you're like living with them or working with them every day, they're contaminating the area and they're contaminating your energy. So no matter how high you try to vibrate or how abundant you try to be or how open you are, there's always going to be a blockage there that you can never clear as long as that person is still around. And that, let me tell you, once you understand what that really means, that is a very hard thing to come to terms with. Who's next?
Mike J.
Ghost Dragons, are you okay? You seem agitated.
I'll be
Not
fine.
to put you out there, but did something happen
fine.
I'm not aware of, or?
No, I'll be fine.
Okay. Yes. And constantly trying to drag you down, or doing the same things over and over again, even though you've like told them, hey, when you do that, it hurts me, you know, hey, can we talk about this? Or you said you were going to do that. Like all of these things where this person or these people, could be a boss, it could be a romantic partner, could be a parent, a sibling, it doesn't matter. Like when they refuse to acknowledge that, okay, maybe they don't understand why what they're doing or saying is hurting you, but if they cared about you, they should understand that you're hurting because of them. And that's what they should be focused on, at least some of the time. I'm not saying make your whole life about the drama of someone else. I'm not talking about a needy, insecure person. I'm talking about a rational, reasonable person who, you know, is hurt by something that you did. Any other rational, reasonable person would say, I really don't understand why you're upset about this, but let's talk about it and then try not to do it again. Again, apology without change in behavior is manipulation. You don't tell someone, well, I didn't comfort you when you were crying over what I said because you shouldn't have been crying over what I said. Who are you to dictate what someone else is upset about? Do you know what I mean? Like, it sounds funny, right? But there are people that exist like this that really have these mind frames of, well, you shouldn't be upset about that. Yeah, but I told you 500 times it does upset me. Yeah, but you shouldn't be upset. So I'm not going to acknowledge that. All right, Mike, we're doing angels and ancestors. Could be any type of relationship, right? And I think we've all been through it. And again, if the person, you know, I think any person that behaves that way will say like, well, this person's never happy with anything. Well, you know, what I would say in that situation, if like two people, this person was saying, well, he's never happy with anything I do. And she says, you know, I would say, well, can you tell us what are some things are that you've done to make them happy recently? You know, maybe this other person isn't seeing it or doesn't, you know, try to get someone thinking on the same wavelength. But there are times when we love someone with all our heart and soul and would do anything for them, but they just do not care about us. And we can't force it, right? All we can do is live with it, deal with it, process it, and hopefully move on from it and make something positive out of it. Mike, you got medicine mother, honor your inner knowing. Oh, they have a medicine guardian too. Hold on a minute here. There she is. Okay. Take action. Do what you know you need to do. Mother always knows best, they say, and it is true. We all know a maternal figure who's extremely intuitive and insightful, and this medicine mother has gone through many ups and downs. She has lived, loved, and lost. She knows what it's like to suffer and to want to give up. So the medicine of this card is that it's okay to make mistakes and get it wrong sometimes, and it's okay for things to come to an end. It's not the end of the world. It's just the end of one chapter and the beginning of something new. The medicine mother reminds you, Mike, that even though you'll have low lows, you aren't here to suffer. You are here to be supported and to support others. Let her give you the loving encouragement to take the next step forward. There's an old pattern rising up in you now, and it's time to deal with it and release it for good. You're being encouraged to love and respect yourself enough to take the steps you know you need to take to move closer to where you'd like to be. You already know the answers. You already know what you need to do. You may have been using delaying tactics or holding back, but now you're being guided to take action right now. Action requires courage, but your angels and guides are bringing you the courage to move forward. Take just one step. When you do, the next one will be presented to you. Mike, I don't know what this situation is. I don't know, There's something here that is just like, you already, like, you know what it is or who it is. You know what needs to be done. You know that you're right about what's going on. You know, like, you know, but you're still in it. And I'm not judging. I get it, right? Because sometimes we want so badly for something to just change. You know, hopefully if we stick it out long enough, it'll change. You know, nothing can stay the same forever. Unfortunately, when you're dealing with lower vibrational energy, toxicity, and vampirism, it can be that way forever because you are literally a source of energetic food for the other person, whether they realize it or not. You're a source of supply, as we say for narcissists, or you're a source of, again, food for energetic feeders. So they will stay the same forever. They're not changing anything for you. So why are you changing your entire thought process in life around for them? Could be a boss, again, significant other, parent, child, sister, brother, aunt. It could be anybody that you're close to. This is something it's either a situation you're significantly close to, like a work situation, or it's a person. Either way, you already know what you have to do. Take one step, your guides are saying, and you will be moved very quickly along so that you barely even have to think about the process. And then you can deal as you move forward into a better version of your life, as a better version of yourself. You look evil right now.
Understatement. Your next two are just your timestamps.
All right, Miss Casey. I'm going to use the Wonderland Oracle. And then I got the Fairy Forest for Mr. Blue Crossroads. By the way, guys, thank you so much for the donations, super chat, super stickers, PayPal, and Cash App. Oh, she's here, my girl. All donations definitely appreciated. It is my income at the moment. So, yeah, $20 to PayPal or Cash App will get you a May personal intuitive oracle reading, a general. And don't forget about my books, guys. That's a good little income source for me as long as y'all are still purchasing them. If you want an autographed copy or for anything else, to send me your stories, to chit chat, to talk about things and stuff, GemmaJadeParanormal@gmail.com. Depending on which book it is how much. It's usually between $20 and $30 for me to pay for the book, pay for the postage, get it mailed out to you. And I usually end up with anywhere from $3 to $5 for myself. Okay, that card almost turned around, but it didn't quite. The link to the books. Okay. Yeah, I can get those for you.
I got them. I'll put them in chat.
Yeah, please do that, because normally I'm just like, go to Amazon and look up Gemma Jade books. But in any other videos, so like in my pre-recorded videos, you'll find the links to every single book. I just couldn't fit it in this description box, but Ghostdragonzw will pop them in there. I think you have most of them, Casey. Okay, so Casey, you got It's Always Tea Time, Eternity, Endless Moments, Repetition, card number 26, and you did get it in the upright position. Is that the reason so many tea things are put out here, she asked. Yes, that's it, said the Hatter with a sigh. It's always tea time. There are places, spaces, moments in all of our lives where time takes on a different quality. Within the space you find yourself in now, Casey, there's an endlessness and a repetition, as though you are stuck in a loop. First, we must become aware and recognize the cycle we're in. This card sees you becoming conscious of something that entraps so many souls, but which you have a chance, a sure opportunity to escape. Others about you, others around you, are seemingly content to be within the loop and to keep the cycle going. You stand outside of this, and it's within your power to change the pattern for yourself. Some will puzzle at your desire to move beyond the constraints of the pattern. They may even be disgruntled at your yearning to change and move beyond the trappings they feel content with. Don't allow their influence to stifle your need to free yourself. When this card comes, consider changing the hours you work, the time you rise or go to your rest, or the schedules you operate in. Others may be confused at your desire to shake up the order of things. However, it is progressive and exciting of you to challenge what others consider to be quote unquote normal. It doesn't always have to be tea time. Things don't always need to be done in the usual way, and time can be shifted and experimented with so you can make the very most of the life you wish to live. A change in schedules, repetitions, cycles, patterns, and loops, situations being repeated, being trapped by schedules that definitely need changing. A wonderful time to challenge the order in which things are done, reworking traditions so they're more aligned with the way you see the world. This is making your life more about you. I don't know how else to say it. Yes, maybe specific schedules or breaking negative cycles, but I think you've done a lot of that. I think this is you making your life more suitable to the existence you want to live, right? So maybe you decide that, I don't know, you don't want to go out for drinks once a week with so-and-so anymore because it's just not working for your schedule. So you're going to choose to go out once. And if they don't like that, then you're not going to go out with them at all. And that sounds really harsh. I'm kind of just using that as an example, but this is you making the most of your life, not in a narcissistic or selfish way, still helping people, still doing everything you can for others, but so it suits you, going out of your way when you can go out of your way. In non-emergent situations, we should not be dropping everything every time someone else needs something, because where does that leave us? Constantly running in this endless cycle, this endless loop. Casey, in the next couple of weeks, try to trim the fat in your relationships. Which relationships are still working for you? Which have you outgrown? Which have become stuck, stale, stagnant, dead, done, over with? And start taking the steps or working the process to move away from them. People, places, and things that no longer serve you as you step into your power and understand that your life is about you having your own human experience. Yes, doing for others is a wonderful thing, and it helps us to vibrate so high, and it makes us radiate this amazing energy. But there's a point where it becomes, oh, well, I'll just call KC if that happens. Like someone walking into a disaster knowing you're going to clean it up. Those types of people need to be removed, even if temporarily. You have to enforce your boundaries more in the next couple of weeks, for sure. Think about yourself, your wants, your needs, and act on them in the next week or two. See how good it feels. And then work yourself, your own happiness and pleasures into your own schedule. It sounds crazy, but it will work. Take the first step. You're welcome, Sir Mike. Yes, thank you, Batmom. Hit the like button. Nomeo says, Mike Tyson quote, he says, the only ones that can hurt me is a friend. Not everyone who you fight is not your enemy. The ones that do everything for you aren't your friends. Not everyone who hurts you is your enemy, and not everyone that does everything for you is your friend. That makes total sense. Blue Crossroads, I'm using Fairy Forest, and then I am out of here to eat, shower, and bed. Yes, awesome Friday night. Amazing energy. You guys are tremendous. I will be back to work Monday, but there will be no pre-recorded uploads. Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern afternoon, talk with myself, Ghostdragonzw. We're going to have Ryan Tremblay on again to talk about skinwalkers and Yi Nadlushi. I hope I said that properly. All right, Blue Crossroads. He was very, very tired. He didn't sleep well last night, then worked all day, so I told him we'd give him a timestamp tonight. Yes, have a great weekend, guys. Pray for Miss Smooshy, excuse me, Miss Jules, and anyone else who may need it. Pray for our gemstone family. All right, Blue, you got Blood Month, Sacrifice, Offerings, and Decisions, card number 21. Interesting looking card, actually. There's a time for all of us to gather the harvest to us. In order to do so in the fields, the heads of grain must fall. In our own lives, we must similarly be ready to let go and offer up something of value in order to make room for the greater good that can then flow into our lives and then into our very souls. When we sacrifice, we make something sacred by the very act of giving it up. It is no sacrifice to make an offering that has no value or meaning to you. And so at this time, you're being asked to give, contribute, and offer up something valuable to you in order to receive what you want in return. What you give has to be significant, as there must be energetic room created in order for significant blessing to flow through to you in return. So this is when they say, like, you don't only donate like your shabbiest clothes to charity, right? Give them something good to work with. And that's just a lame example, but it's true. These sacrifices don't always come in the form of the material. It's not always a thing that we must offer or let go of. It can be our pride, our judgment, our human conceits, our petty quarrels and disputes, all of which fill our days with distractions that don't serve anyone. With Blood Month comes the need to make a deep and earnest decision to give up something that you've held dear, even components of your constructed human personality, to give them up to feed the hungry beings of Blood Month, who, although terrifying to gaze upon, will clear and free us in so many ways. Have no doubt, from the offerings you make, the future is born. Now is the time to make that sacred offering. So Blue Crossroads, just in a personal conversation, I'm not going to say too much because it was very personal. I feel like this is telling you not to do what you said you were going to do. Like, you're growing into this person, but you'd rather be the old person. So that you're going to go back to be like, you can't do that. You have to sacrifice that part of yourself for the greater good. And you have to sacrifice it indefinitely and permanently. This could be something else, and it might resonate with you in a way that it doesn't to me, because we don't talk that often, and I don't know too much about what's going on. I just know a conversation we've had recently where this kind of makes a little bit of sense. What you feel is the right thing to do may just be the easiest. Okay, so just because you feel like this is what I have to do now, the universe wants you to really sit with that and ask yourself, is this the right thing for you, for your future, for your spiritual progression and elevation, or is it just easier for you at this time to do that? If the answer is that it's easier, you really need to rethink that, double think that, triple think it, recheck it twice, and decide where you're going to go from there, because this sacrifice could lead you to everything you've ever wanted, or the failure to sacrifice could make abundance not coming like anywhere near you for a really long time. So sit with your decisions like before you make them for a while, and don't ever take the easy road out. You're not someone who does take the easy road out, or you don't seem like you are, just from what I personally know about you. But I feel like in this situation, you're really guarded, and you're trying to protect yourself by taking the easy road. Casey, you could very possibly be on a delay. Guys, have a great weekend. I will be back at it on Monday, working on my new book, working on the pre-recordeds for the following Monday, which I already have the Solder Children, which I believe is going to be the members only. I love you all. Please remember to donate if you're able to do so. PayPal and Cash App. Don't forget to check out my books. Hit me up, GemmaJadeParanormal@gmail.com. Love, light, many blessings, and have a great night.